Petro. And I'll take a look, and maybe you can think of a guy who's like that. Cole Reagans did it for the second half, but then when he did it for a whole year, we knew who he was because we'd seen him do it post, basically trade deadline. Because even when he got traded, I know he got traded for early, but he came over and they sent him to the minors. So it was really post All-Star. We got a feel for him. I'm talking about somebody who we all miss on. And you're like, damn, that guy's a star.
In football, Puka.
Puka, yeah, that's good.
We just had Brad call in. He gave me Puka.
Yeah, Puka in football is probably the best example. 6th, 7th round. Was he 5th or 6th round? 5th round pick, I think, for the Rams. Totally off the radar screen, and as a rookie, puts up big, big numbers. Probably before that, you'd have to go to the Puka before Puka, who went to the Seahawks out of Eastern Washington. Super Bowl MVP for the Rams.
Oh, Cooper Kupp?
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp was the same thing. Those are the guys. But in baseball, I can't think of a guy like that in baseball. Can you?
I probably could. I don't know. Whit Merrifield had that late bloomer type.
Yeah, Whit Merrifield. But even he came up mid-season.
Okay.
And hit well. Baseball, the ability to have a minor leagues and call guys up probably adds to this.
Right.
To this equation here. Anyway, my point is, look, I'm not freaking out because Stephen Kolek didn't throw BB. Stephen Kolek is your 6th starter. All right? And so he was fine. Luinder Avila, nice night. Hopefully we see more of this. Maybe becoming a weapon out of the bullpen. Faces 5 batters, walks 1, strikes out 2 of them. Sign me up. No hits, looking good. Daniel Lynch bounces back. He throws another high-quality inning. Strikes out 2 of the 3 batters he gets out, along with a hit, which wasn't a home run, which means it wasn't a pitch that was just fat. And, he was able to make people miss. Like it. Matt Strahm sucks. Don't love it. But he gave up a bomb to a team that's got some guys, to a guy who hits home runs.
And frankly, on a pitch that was like a foot below the zone.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just, I don't love doing this, but sometimes you got to tip your cap.
Yeah, absolutely. He went down like that. That's it. So this is just a baseball loss. There's no villain in this one. They had a big inning. They answered after the White Sox had a big inning. They hit the ball over the wall. This was just a day that when they hit the ball over the wall, nobody was on. When they got guys on, they hit with runners in scoring position. Everybody freaks out about that. They did that. This was just a professional baseball loss. So I'm not going to read too much into it.
I think part of the stress from the Royals fan base is the Chicago White Sox are not a team that should be ahead of you in their rebuild right now. Because I feel like Chicago...
But do you agree that they're not the old White Sox?
Agree. Yeah, 100%. They've traded off a ton of their expensive and big pieces, right? And they've built it up, but you feel like Kansas City has been building for longer, and you feel like you should be ahead of them. Because it was just last year or 2 years ago, they were on pace for a historically bad season in Chicago.
Yeah. So I'm not...
the Royals were good, but 2
right.
years ago they were headed to the playoffs.
But it has been 2 years since then, and they were better last year. Mm-hmm. And they, Murakami does... I think he shows what having a guy that will continue to get on base by walking and a guy who is a real threat to hit the ball over the wall, what he does to the rest of the lineup. So that's a significant addition. You're talking about a guy who's right there with the leaders, with Aaron Judge and anybody else hitting the ball over the wall. He's right there. Think if you added Aaron Judge or Diet Aaron Judge to the Royals.
Yeah, I would call him Diet. He strikes out a hell of a lot.
He does
more.
strike out more and get on base, but just the threat of the power.
Yeah.
If you added Adam Dunn to the Royals lineup and you batted him, and he was right-handed, and you hit him 4th, where would this team be? And I think that's the one positive we want to mention. Salvador Perez did hit a home run. Now, he's hit 5 of them before last night, and it's still the worst spot in their lineup. So this does not mean, okay, it's all fixed. We've thought that about every time he's hit a home run. He needs to now come back tonight, have 2 more hits, right? And then I'll start to feel like, okay, they've solved that number 4 spot. But there was still stuff to like.
Jack Caglione last night hit 2 balls over 110 miles an hour.
Yes.
Both outs.
Tough outs. You'd like him to get a little bit more ahead of it and a little bit more loft on it, I am going to say, like, it's not a get-out-of-jail-free card. He did hit it hard, but he did not lift it. And he's a guy that if he can lift, it will go a long way. He's just naturally strong. He's a giant man, long-limbed, means the bat head is further out, which means the bat speed velocity is higher. He's just got to continue to work on the lift, right? And if he gets a little bit more lift, those are 2 home runs. They're it. Fine. And again, I don't want to knock it. I'd rather him hit it on the screws for a line drive. There'll be plenty of doubles that come out of that, plenty of hard hit, one skip singles, right? But, that, to me, he was on the pitches and he couldn't do what he really wants to do, which is lift the baseball and pull it a little bit more. And so, but yes, definitely a positive. Isaac Collins, I mean, for a guy his size, that's about as hard as you can hit a ball. That's what he has to do, and he's 2 feet away from it being a home run. And it didn't matter because everybody behind him picked him up, and he came around to score. But I think the other positive thing is, like, Nick Lofton. And I am not lobbying for more Nick Lofton. The way they're using Nick Lofton is fine. Listen, I'm the guy who one of my bold and daring predictions was Nick Lofton establishes himself this year as a legit big leaguer. We're not bouncing him up and down anymore. He's on this team. Maybe it's as a super sub. Maybe he takes over left field, right field, second base, whatever it might be. Maybe he's just part of the platoon, but he is a guy that this team can count on and they can use, and he can be cheap while being productive and playing well for this team. We saw that last night. That's a positive. So I think we've eased off on one loss. This is back-to-back. I think we've taken a step away from the ledge on that. I do still think we're at the point where Curtis said, okay, but it needs to end tonight.
Right.
Right? When they dropped back-to-backs last week, he said, yes, I'm fine. I'm not freaking out. I'm not panicking. I get it. But you need to stop it tonight. And that's absolutely accurate. Until you have emerged to where you're multiple games over 500, to where 2 or 3 losses in a row doesn't drop you back below 500, until you get there, you really don't want to lose more than 2 in a row. You really don't. And you really want to try to avoid losing back-to-back to the same team. And that's where the Royals find themselves tonight. So not a lot to see in that game, but, I think there were positive. Not a lot to see as far as what is the end of the season ultimately going to be. I don't think last night is the telling moment. Like I said, positive. Salvi homered. That's good. Bobby homered. That's good. Isaac Collins hit the ball hard. Jack Caglione hit the ball hard. Nick Lofton keeps doing what he's doing. Those are positives. Matt Strahm, guy hit a pitcher's pitch for a home run. Stephen Kolek is what he is. This is the reality of it. This was due. And what was due happened, and they still almost won. So just a professional baseball game. That's all I saw last night. 913-810-810. We'll take a break. Ryan Lefevre joins us next here in the program.
The program with Soren Petro.
And unbeknownst to me, I pull it off the spool. It hits and rolls out from under the stall.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Look, I've said it before, the one to know is the Plumbing Pro. If you've got any kind of problems, listen, if you can't flush, if you can't shower, if you can't do a load of laundry, that is a big problem. Listen, sewer problems, septic problems, drain installation, repair. The Plumbing Pro does it all. Steve and his great team have been serving Kansas City since 1980. They're locally owned and operated right here in Kansas City. They live here. They raise their kids here. Steve coaches here. Listen, they are Kansas City through and through, and that's pretty unique. Listen, you might see some other companies' names on trucks that are driving around. Do a little research. You'll find out what I found out. I had a company we'd used for a long time. They were pretty good. And then they got worse and worse and worse, and I couldn't figure it out. Found out that they had sold 3 years earlier. I knew right away why a guy was on the phone with his shop, and they were telling him, why aren't you trying to sell the guy a water heater? When all I needed was like a simple little fix. The folks from the Plumbing Pro came over. Tim Grumhard said, what are you doing? Call Steve and the guys at the Plumbing Pro. I did. They came over, took a look at it. They said, yeah, this water heater's fine. This thing's going to be good for at least 5 more years. Think about the money they saved me. They can do that for you as well. Honest, great work, knowledgeable staff. That's what you get with the Plumbing Pro. So don't wait. Like I said, if it won't flush, if you don't have hot water, if you can't do the laundry, if you got a problem with that line coming in from the street, no matter how big the job is, the Plumbing Pro handles the biggest jobs in Kansas City with the best customer service and the most knowledgeable staff. Locally owned and operated since 1980. Your local plumber is the Plumbing Pro. Listen, if you've got a problem, the one to know is the Plumbing Pro. Call them and tell them Petro sent you. 816-763-8200. That's 816-763-8200. Or go online to theplumbingpro.com.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's.
Welcome back here on the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Let's talk some Royals baseball. Royals and White Sox. I guess it's an important series, right? They're all important. Let's talk to the voice, the face, the face. I like the face. Denny's still the voice. The face of the Kansas City Royals, Ryan Lefebvre. How are you, buddy?
Great. Thanks for liking my face.
Yeah. Oh, we do. You know, we like it. We subscribe to it. You know, we share it. We do all the things you should do in today's modern world when it comes to your face, Ryan. So you should feel good about that.
It makes me feel very good. Thank you. I will be thinking about that all night tonight during the game.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Thanks for filing that away. Let me ask you this. This is something Curtis kind of asked, and I think it's a good question. Have they righted the ship enough to where we are not panicking every time they, would lose a game or lose back-to-back games? Are we now confident that this is a team that is going to be, at the bare minimum, competitive here in the AL Central, and we don't need to fret about the season getting away from us the way 7-16 scared people to start?
Yeah. Well, I think the operative words are competitive in the AL Central. It sure helps to be in this division right now. And that's all they really need to do is win their division. I mean, there's a chance for a wild card, and I think a lot of American League teams are going to get better between now and the end of the season. But that's the goal, is to win the division. I still think there's an element missing. I don't know exactly what it is, but maybe it's simple as just being consistent or more detail-oriented, and they show glimpses of that here and there. But they're also, aside from the heartbreak games that they should have won that they lost, or the reverse, the games they should have lost that they won, right now I think they're just right on the wrong end of a play here, a pitch there, a runner in from third here, an out there, away from winning some games they should be winning.
And I hear you. I want to back up something. We'll come back to that. Let's hold that off to the side. I want to come back to something you said. You think a lot of the teams are going to get better. I think that happens, but doesn't this year feel? I mean, I think that happens every year, but doesn't this year feel unique in the sense that it usually comes with some teams getting better at the expense of some teams that started hot, right? Some teams that were maybe out over their skis, or caught some of the teams that will be better early, and then they regress back to the means. We've got everybody, seemingly, almost everybody but the Rays and Yankees, coming out at mediocrity. And we don't have, although the Astros and Angels are kind of settling into the bottom down there. I think the Red Sox are better than their 17-24 record. We've never seen this many teams, lumped up in the middle. Now, maybe this is just a statistical anomaly, and, that's all it is. Or has it changed? Has the fact that everybody's reading from the same analytical playbook now created a thick middle, and it's going to be muddled up like this most of the year with maybe only one or two teams separating themselves from the pack?
Yeah, I don't think that's an either-or answer. I think that can be a both-and answer. And, your statement about there's more of a mean now because everyone's reading from the same analytics, that's interesting. But, yes, there have been some good teams who have gotten off to a mediocre start. There are some mediocre teams right now that are bad, and we just haven't seen that they're bad yet. They got off to a good start. They're playing with some momentum. But on paper, they just don't appear to be playoff caliber teams. And I go back to a line that Denny shared with me years ago that Whitey Herzog used to say, you don't want to play horse bleep teams early in the season because they haven't figured out that they're horse bleep yet.
I like
And so early in the season, it's cold. Nobody feels right yet. I mean, there's in our case, rain delays, tarp on the field, days off, whatever. And you just good teams haven't gotten into a rhythm. And I think mediocre teams and less have taken advantage of that.
Okay. All right. You said there's something that's missing, and you haven't put your finger on it yet. Did you think you had your finger on it? Or do you think the Royals have their finger on it, or are they searching for whatever that missing ingredient is? And is it a chemistry? Is it is there any chance it's a particular piece of talent, a particular part of the club?
Yeah, I don't think it's something that's missing that's gone for the season. I just don't. I think it's, and I was talking about this earlier today. 2 years ago when they went to the playoffs, they realized on offense they were going to have to be a team that paid attention to details on offense. They were going to have to move runners. They were going to have to hit with runners in scoring position. They were going to have to get runners in from second with nobody out. They're going to have to get runners in from third with less than two outs because they just didn't have a lot of power. They had some speed, but it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was an elite speed team. So they really had to pay attention to details. I think last year it's safe to say that they did so well in 24 that maybe they took some of those things for granted, and they prematurely graduated themselves to the next level offensively, and they just weren't the next level offensively. I mean, if they repeated last year what they'd done in 2024, they would have been just fine. And so I think what's missing is maybe an identity. I mean, there's enough younger players and enough players from other organizations that have come in. I don't think there's a chemistry issue. I don't think there's a coaching issue. But I do think from the player standpoint, there's just maybe an element of paying attention to the little details, or this is the type of team that we are. It's been really interesting doing games with Haas this year because he brings up things on the air and off the air about the many reasons why they were successful. And one of them was, they really identified what type of team that they were, and they would play games within games. So, for instance, let's say they're facing Chris Sale, and if you're going to go up there and try and score 7 runs and hit 4 home runs against Chris Sale, that's just not going to work. But there would be a strategy within a greater strategy. Like, let's see how many right-hand batters can drive the ball to the right side against Chris Sale. Let's see if we can take certain pitches away from him, and even if we make an out, let's see how many balls we can hit hard to the opposite field. So they would play these games within a game. They all were on the same page, and I think that's how their identity developed over time. And I don't think this is anyone's fault. I just think there's a lot of talent on this team, enough talent, I think, to win the division. There's enough potential to win the division, but I don't think they've settled on this is who we are, this is how we win games, and this is how we're going to do it night after night.
All right, let me lob up a suggestion then. The problem is the cleanup spot, and then that's largely been Salvador Perez, and we're all optimistic that Salvi's going to turn in the right direction. But games you lose by 1 run, if the cleanup spot were doing better, particularly they had that stretch early on where Bobby Witt had been on base 30 times and stolen 7 bases and, had only scored 1 run in that stretch because at that point, Vinny wasn't hitting either. And Vinny's numbers are starting to come around. He looks like he's getting back, which is kind of what he did last year. I don't think anybody's been worried about Vinny, but Salvi's up there in years, and he plays a very demanding position. And they don't seemingly have, if they want to go left, right, they don't seemingly have the answer on who to put in there at the cleanup spot. Like the if not Salvi, then who? The then who doesn't seem to appear. Is that their most troubling spot right now on the club?
I think so. I think that's fair. I think the middle of the order right now is not doing what they're capable of doing. And when I say what they're capable of doing, I'm not saying hitting 30 or 40 home runs. Salvi in the game last night hits a home run to the opposite field. Next, or 2 at-bats later, he gets a base hit to the opposite field. So what Salvi's capable of doing is not just hitting a lot of home runs and driving in 100-plus RBIs, but it's a team that, and I keep going back to 2 years ago just because I think they proved in a short period of time that with the talent they have, that they could make some adjustments on offense and I think they finished 6th in the league in runs per game. It was a solid offense a couple of years ago. But I still just believe that whether it's a player that's underperforming right now, I think equal to that are players who are trying to overperform. And you are who you are. You're going to have games where you're going to do amazing things, unless you're Bobby Witt Jr. and you do something every single night that appears to be amazing. But it's funny, the longer I watch the game, I come up with all these different definitions of like what makes a good hitter. Does he have power? Does he have a high average? Can he hit the ball to all fields? Is he always ready for his pitch? The percentage of times that he fouls his pitch away as opposed to hitting it hard. And I come to these different conclusions just by watching guys that are good and guys that aren't so good, or they have these little flashes here or there, and then they go 2 weeks and they don't really do anything. And the one that I'm really recognizing now is the good hitters come to the plate. They recognize what the pitcher is trying to do to them, and they take what the pitcher is trying to do, and they try and make something of that. Can I move a runner with this guy with what I'm doing right now? Can I get a fly ball with what he's doing to me right now? What can I do with how he's pitching me? And if he makes a mistake, hopefully I'm ready for it. But there's been this era of hitting that we're finally getting out of, thankfully, and that is, well, look, this worked for me in college. This worked for me in the minor leagues. This is the hitter who I am. So I'm going to go up there and find a ball that I can crush, and if I strike out, so be it. It's just an out. Okay, that doesn't work up here. It just doesn't. You have to figure out when you're facing really good pitching every day, you got to figure out, look, I'm probably not going to get a fastball at 92 right down the middle 3 times, and I got 3 shots to hit it out of the ballpark. You might get 95 up and away, but you got to get that guy in from third base. So what are you going to do? You're going to get that guy in? You might break your bat. You might make an out, but you got to get that guy in. And so that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, where like an identity of a team. Our job is to figure out how do we get the job done. You graduate from, well, this is the type of hitter I am, to what do I need to do to get the job done? So, yeah, lack of production in the middle right now, but I just think an identity 1 through 9 is getting closer, but it's not quite there yet.
David Lesky made a good point that the Blue Jays had a new hitting philosophy, brought in a new hitting coach last year, and they really struggled offensively while having some big names and, big expectations for their offense. But in the second half, it all kind of came together. It clicked, and they became one of the best offenses, if not the best offense in the American League coming down the stretch, and parlayed that all the way into the World Series. The Royals made some changes within the hitting department, and we've seen some really good things. They walk more, which is something I didn't really think once you got to the big league level you could really tick that up a notch, but they've appeared to be able to do it. They don't chase. They've got one of the best chase rates. But they also are letting good pitches go by. There seems to be a cost that they're paying for the success. Do we think that it's just a matter of time where they go, okay, this is the one I got to trigger. I understand what I need to do to get into better hitters counts, and now I'm ready to start applying some of my older mentality or some of my attacking mentality to jump on the pitches that are good. Like, do we think that the second half, because we've got two new assistant hitting coaches that are obviously working with guys and presenting new ideas, do we think that we could, right now they're paying their dues for making the adjustments, and they're going to reap the benefits in the second half the way the Blue Jays did?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I just think there's just enough guys in there that can make that happen. And when your big guys are struggling, there's a tendency for other people to say, I'm going to pick up the slack. Well, there's certain guys in the lineup that are just not going to be Salvador Perez in a 100 RBI season. There are people in the lineup that are just not going to be Vinny Pasquantino in a 100 RBI season. They're just that's not who they are. That's not who they're made to do. Walks is a very interesting topic that comes up. And I think, and again, this is just my opinion, but we get caught up sometimes in guys just don't, they don't walk a lot, or they do walk. Why do they walk a lot? Good hitters walk. Why is he a good hitter but he's not walking? I don't think any good hitters go to the plate looking for a walk. I think good hitters accept a walk, but their first priority is to hit the ball hard. They're ready for their pitch. When they get it, they're going to hit it hard. If they get to 2 strikes, now it's the team thing, or they might even do the team thing before they get to 2 strikes. And I probably said this on your show, and I'll throw a question back out at you. The guys that I will always remember, and they're Hall of Fame hitters. Albert Pujols, when he was with the Cardinals, Miguel Cabrera, and Edgar Martinez were 3 guys that always seemed to get the job done, and they seemed to beat us with broken bats and bloops to right field. Yeah, they hit their 3-run home runs. They got their 3-run doubles. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that was part of the mix. But it always felt like when the game was on the line and they needed a big hit, they got the job done, and they didn't always hit the ball hard. So which one is the chicken and which one's the egg? Is it because they were Hall of Fame hitters that they always got the job done no matter what? Or was part of getting the job done and finding a way to get the job done is what made them Hall of Famers? But I can tell you that there are also guys like, say, Adam Dunn, for instance, who made a lot of money and hit a lot of home runs, but he'd go up there and he'd be happy to take a walk and let Diane Viciedo come up and win the game after him. Well, Albert Pujols and Miguel Cabrera and Edgar Martinez knew, this is my job. I'm getting paid to do this. I will find a way to win this game right now. So I really believe that guys who walk a lot are good hitters, and they're waiting for their pitch. They're confident to wait for their pitch, and if they don't get it, they will accept a walk. But I don't think any good hitters or mediocre hitters go to the plate and say, you know what, I need to walk more. You're only going to have one George Kataris in a generation who can't hit and somehow came to the plate with the Bermuda Triangle with him, and everybody wanted to throw him a strike, but they just couldn't throw him a strike. Those guys, there aren't as many of those guys as people want to think. If you're a 180 hitter, you're probably not going to walk a lot because they're going to throw you strikes.
We're talking to the great Ryan Lefebvre here in the program. It's interesting. I would theorize, I would not state it because I obviously have never been in the box and done these things, but like you, I've watched a lot of baseball. You've at least played, high-level college baseball and up into the high minors. So I would always defer to your view of it, but what I think, I don't disagree with anything you said. What I would add to that, I guess, would be that, I have a phrase I say, I usually talk about it with teams, that you need to look in the mirror and be honest about who you are, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you come to a trade deadline, well, let's go get this. Well, really? Because you really need to pack it in, sell, and play for next year because you're not good enough. That's usually how I'm referring to it. But I think it applies to hitters too. Baseball is such a unique sport in the sense that, the great ones still fail most of the time, all those things we've heard as kids and everything. But I think the great ones, they look in the mirror and they know who they are. A lot of the times, Albert Pujols looks in the mirror, and based upon the pitcher that's out there, he's King Kong. So let's go rock this guy. But there are also times that there are guys, usually great pitchers, but maybe they're just somebody who has some crafty pitch or some electric pitch that just because of Albert Pujols' vision and tilt of his head and the way his wrists are put together, it's a guy that just baffles him. I mean, Brian McRae talked about, he goes, Ron, I said, who's the toughest guy to hit? He said, Ron Darling. He goes, and I'm not talking about Ron Darling when he was good. I'm talking about Ron Darling at the end of his career when he was just hanging on. Whatever it was, I just couldn't hit him. Right? Like, that's being honest. And I think those guys recognize, like, I'm not going to blast a 3-run homer, but I can get, good wood on the ball, maybe spray it the other way. And then the great ones are good enough that if somebody makes a flat-out mistake, then they may crush it for a double or a home run or something. But I think those guys, they understand. And that's why when I hear people complaining about Vinny Pasquantino has to turn his sac flies into home runs, or they've got to turn into doubles, or Vinny Pasquantino looks at it and identifies exactly what it is he can get done. And he is maximizing the returns on the ability he has against the player that he's up against. I think that's part of the equation, too, is knowing who you are and what you can do. And I think those guys are incredibly in tune to their body and what they can do. And they also are incredibly in tune to the opposition and what they can do. And they maximize whatever return they can get out of that matchup. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up Vinny. Vinny's a great example. Vinny didn't get off to a great start last year. And I love talking to Vinny. He's so interesting to talk to because he'll be a good manager someday. He doesn't miss anything going on around him. He's just very perceptive. 2 years ago, Vinny Pasquantino hit, 2 years ago, 2024, he drove in 97 runs in 4.5 months because he didn't drive in a run until his 11th game, and he missed the end of August and all of September, and he had 97 RBIs. 97 RBIs in basically 4.5 months. All he heard during the offseason? Well, his hard hit wasn't very high, and his OPS wasn't very high. He drove in 97 runs in 4.5 months. I mean, I've been doing this. This is my 32nd year doing this. I've never, at the end of the game, when we're going over who won, is who had the higher hard hit rate or who had the higher OPS at the end of the game. It's usually, the Royals right now, I can say this, the Royals right now, Soren, are 19-0 when they outscore their opponent. So there's a statistic you can hang your hat on. And good players and good teams find a way to just outscore their opponent. And there are so many helpful numbers today. I'm not an anti-numbers within the numbers within the numbers. They're very helpful tools. They're helpful tools, I think, when you're putting a team together and you're looking at a player's history, when you have a nice long history that maybe some numbers are deceptive. Hey, this is helpful. Hey, this number's not very good, but hey, let's look at this one. Maybe this will start to blossom. Like, I get all that. That's interesting. But in the day-to-day, in the game-to-game where I live, you can see players that you're like, I want this guy at the plate when you need to get a runner in. Then there's guys at the end of the year and they have 82 RBIs, and you're like, I can remember 4 that he drove in all year. How did he end up with 82? So, yeah, I'm glad you brought up Vinny as an example because you're right. Vinny has figured out, and he hasn't gotten hot yet this year, but Vinny has figured out, I think, who he is and how to drive in runs. And, he soared past 100 RBIs when the season was all done last year. So I think that's a really good example.
We're talking to Ryan Lefevre. Time for our Final Four. Unfortunately, a shorter conversation today, but we'll make more time for Ryan a little bit later on. But any chance we get a chance to talk to Ryan Lefevre, we're going to do it. Let's start with this. AL Central, team to beat now is who? If you had to pick one team as the team to beat.
Cleveland. I don't know why we think the Guardians and the Brewers runs are going to come to an end every year because those two teams always seem to be there at the end, but I'm going to say Cleveland.
All right. Bobby Witt Jr.'s home run total will be what?
Oh, why do you always pick me for the prediction things? How long have we known each other?
27 years.
Yeah. How good do I do with predictions? I don't even know.
The best. We keep track of it. You're a 987 win percentage.
31.
All right.
With some spikes in some other categories.
I usually write down 5 or 6 of these, and so you've taken me in the direction I want to go now that I hear the irritation. So Vinny's RBI total will be what?
103.
Okay. And finally, Bobby's stolen base total will be what?
44.
44. There it is. Book it, people. Book it. The great Ryan Lefevre has spoken. Ryan, you are the best, buddy. We appreciate it. We'll do it again soon.
All right, thanks, Soren.
Thanks to Ryan Lefevre joining us here in the program. We will take a break. When we come back, we will play the feud. Todd Liebel will join us. Like what Lefevre said, looking for that last thing. They just haven't quite gelled. What is the last element of it? I do like the cleanup spot being one of them. I think if the cleanup spot's there, then it might feel like there. Just keep losing these one-run games. Yeah, because they should have scored 2 more runs earlier. The rally shouldn't have died there. If Salvi starts hitting, then I think it all falls into place for this team. I think it all falls into place. I think if Salvi starts hitting, they could be the team to beat in the AL Central. It may not be the Guardians. I still don't think it's the Guardians. I still can't figure out the Guardians. But we'll see. Always love the opinions of Ryan Lefevre. We'll take a break. Lebo coming up next.
All right, Bobby Wood Jr. had a 70-game errorless streak up until yesterday. He fell just short of the record of 76 games. Held by who? Which Royals shortstop?
and they had him at the podium, like he's on our roster. And I'm like, what did they do?
Hour number 2 of the program begins right now. Todd Lebo joins us. We need a contestant. Todd Lebo being here means it's time to play the feud. You just heard the intro. That should have been your first tip, people.
Call.
9133-810-810. Call now. You could win fabulous prizes like a $25 gift card to Nick and Jake's.
Or
You'll
40.
get it. You'll get it just for playing. If you'll win, 40.
40.
That's the carrot. That's out in front of you.
Yeah. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Yeah, hey, thanks for showing up, Todd. That's
I'm
super. Todd Lebo, Vice President of Sports Operations here on the program, joins us. We'll get to some Lebo sounds coming up in a little bit.
Actually,
the big guy.
We won't. I don't have any sounds.
Really?
We'll just talk.
We'll do Todd talk.
We'll Todd talk.
We'll Todd talk.
There's nothing going on in the world.
Well, when you roll out of bed at 1,
Yeah. Wasn't exactly that, but
tough to get in here and make it all happen, right?
I got here and then I had a lot of things to do just now. We're doing things. We're making things happen.
Is that right?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of things going.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll have a little Todd talk. Family Leisure, thrilled to bring you the Todd talk.
Yeah. Ask me anything. AMA.
You know what? DJ White told me his favorite part of being the sponsor
What's that?
of your hour. He says he loves the Lebo sounds.
Oh boy.
So
Here
this
I
is
am
the
to
best. He said,
disappoint.
Todd Lebo
listen.
finds the best sound bites.
I'll find a soundbite in the break.
Said it's just amazing.
I wouldn't mind playing this one Eli Drinkwitz soundbite, but it sounds terrible.
Oh, it's awful. I heard it
bad.
earlier.
We're not
Really
playing.
bad.
I don't blame you guys for playing it, by the way. The big guy is out, so we get a little guy,
Kind of big guy.
Michael Darcy.
Darcy, I can buzz in
Musclehead.
quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, body weight down,
Intelligence down.
fat percentage. What's that called? Body fat percentage.
BMI.
Down.
BMI.
Muscle mass up.
Up.
Reaction time up.
Should have seen this big tub of potatoes and hamburger this kid ate yesterday.
Really?
Oh, he's got his macros down. He's eating his.
I was talking to Lebo in the break
proteins.
room, and he's cooking a little hamburger
I
patty.
get a lame hamburger
What,
patty.
you're
left
cooking
over.
a patty
I'm
in there?
reheating it.
Reheating
Okay,
it.
I was
And
like-
I had like 14 ounces of ground beef I was eating.
Your standard serving.
Why you couldn't
14
go the
ounces.
extra 2 ounces
Well,
and
he
just make
couldn't
it a
have
pound?
jammed all the potatoes in that bowl
Yeah.
either that he had.
I was really stretched thin on my Tupperware there,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
had to make do.
All right.
You got
So
it done.
you're one of those, counting every...
Are you cutting right now or you're gaining? What are you doing? You
I'm trying to
maxing?
lose a little bit of weight for
Do
the
a little
summer.
cutting. You're getting this bikini
Getting the beach
body,
bod,
yeah.
is that it?
Just trying to feel a little bit better.
Yeah, that's good. It's always good to feel.
So in the
better.
winter you try to feel worse? Is
Yes.
That's right.
that what you're telling me?
You gotta get the fat content up so you can hibernate in the winter.
I'll be sleeping till 1 o'clock.
You see? There you go.
All right, so Darcy will play the feud. He is much quicker than Curtis. Yes, can confirm. So that's an upgrade. We have a
light on the
contestant,
experience though. He's a young man.
but he is 3-1.
Yeah,
He's 3-1 in the
knows
feud.
what he's doing.
So we'll see what Travis thinks. We have a contestant. That contestant, of course, has a name. His name is Travis. Travis, how are you, my friend?
Good. I'm on the road. I hope you can hear me well.
We can hear you just fine. You know you've got a choice to make. Who are you going to play with? Are you going to play with 3-1 Michael Darcy? Going to play with just out of bed Todd Lebo? Or are you going to play with me?
Well, this is actually my third time getting in over
Okay.
several years, and I hadn't yet played with you, Soren.
Oh, wow.
This 3-1 sounds good, too.
Oh,
Yeah, you haven't played with Darcy either then. I'm always going to be here. You know, it's not every week that Darcy's here.
Travis,
What do you think,
let's be realistic here.
No pressure on the kid, but, you know, if nothing else, you may lose $15 worth of Nick and Jake's gift cards, but you'll forever hold it over Michael Darcy's head.
If he has a strong back, let's jump on that.
Okay,
All
there
right.
he goes. Travis
Wow.
and
Okay.
Darcy. Todd, you want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Okay, Lebo's going to go first for us, so I'm going to go second. So how do you boys want to stack
Travis,
the
you want to
deck?
lead us off?
Sure.
Okay, Travis in the leadoff. Travis versus Lebo, Darcy versus me. Let's dance this dance.
All right, 7 answers on the board. Give me Todd. Give me Travis. Travis, let's test that buzzer real quick.
Travis.
He's a veteran. All right, 7 answers on the board. We're going to start off nice and easy. Name an annoying fan base.
Lebo.
There you go.
I mean, this is probably not going to go well here, but the Kansas Jayhawks basketball.
Let me make sure the sounder is on. That is on the board at number 6.
Number 6. Okay. Travis, you get a chance.
The Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Broncos.
The Broncos didn't make the list.
Gosh,
Yeah,
it's
we
all
gotta-
the sports.
We gotta play, right?
Yeah, we'll play. Yeah.
Okay. A lot of directions we could go here, Todd.
Yeah. But the Broncos don't make it. I'm worried about the NFL.
Yeah, I am too. I'm gonna take the Yankees.
New York. That's all of New York.
So we're doing it by town,
Yeah.
not by team.
Yeah,
Okay.
except for one team. You'll see what I mean.
Okay.
The New York Yankees. Just all New York off the board at 5.
Don't get caught up in the one team
Yeah,
thing,
I
because
know,
that's dominating my thinking right now.
Boston?
Boston, number 2.
Philly.
Philly, number 1.
Oh, they're number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
I left Philly for you, Todd.
Yeah. Well, Boston, we all, they're annoying as well. Okay. I think people still think these people are annoying. Dallas? Okay.
Strike 2.
You're thinking Cowboys?
They just shove them down our throat all the time.
Well, who was the first one you said?
I said KU.
All right. I assume there's going to be the cross-state rivalry with the Cardinals.
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
That is correct. St. Louis, number 4.
Okay, so we have
Just
New
looking
York,
for number
Boston,
3
Philly,
and number 7.
St. Louis, KU, and the number 7 is going to be a weird one, right? It's going to be some one thing there.
Not weird.
Well, if Kansas is there, Mizzou.
Mizzou, number 7.
All right, there we go.
Well,
Number 3 sitting there.
So 3 is there,
Yeah.
and this is the one that's just a team.
Yeah.
A team.
Well, I wonder if that's like KUMU and it's just K-State. I better take that because we still got. How many strikes do we have? 1.
You got 2.
I'm going to take that because then you still got a
K-State is
chance
2
to find
strikes?
something. So
Wait,
I'm
we
going
have
to.
2 strikes?
No. What are our 2 strikes? We don't have 1.
I've got 2 written down here.
I had
Okay, maybe
Dallas
it's only
was
1.
I
Yeah,
had a
Dallas.
strike
I
on
haven't
Dallas.
missed.
Good call. Good
I
call.
said
That's
New
one
York.
The
strike.
strike was Travis when he was trying to get the
Yeah.
answer
Yeah,
right.
good call.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
what I wrote down.
Okay,
so only
so-
1 strike on the board.
So just this, you've still got a chance for the safety net. So I'm going to take K-State to make sure it's not them.
It is not them.
You think it's college though? If it's
We can't discuss,
we couldn't possibly, could we?
even though I just did to give you help, which I feel bad.
There are some annoying. I mean, it's Kansas people are in here. Let's go, Duke.
That's terrible.
Duke, not
Bad
there.
idea.
Not bad.
No, that's terrible.
It's still a loser.
All right, over to Darcy and Travis.
Are you texting with Darcy?
I'm writing stuff down,
Oh,
Lebo.
Why don't you bring a pencil in
because this is the modern age, Todd. Only fossils like us use
I got
pen and paper.
flamed for using pen and paper like 3 weeks ago.
here? Who did?
I did.
Who flamed you? Wouldn't
Soren
have
actually
been
did.
me.
I brought
I
in
did
pen
not.
and paper. You're like, why you got a pen and paper? So I can write stuff down.
It says the guy with 700 yellow notebooks.
All right, Travis.
stacked.
Every show. Is that a
How we
notebook?
feeling? They named a lot of the ones that I had written down. The one that
Same
they
here.
didn't mention that kind of comes to the forethought of my mind is the Cincinnati Bengals. But I don't know how confident I feel in that.
I would just like to take a moment that earlier we were informed that Travis is driving, and we were just informed that all the ones he has written down have been taken. So
He didn't write anything down.
he's driving and writing.
He's not writing.
It's better than driving and
Mental
drinking.
notes he's putting down.
So I was thinking a bunch of them that they named out too. Did anybody name any NBA teams like the Lakers or something?
No one did.
No.
But I don't know.
Lakers fans are annoying.
I mean, between the... Did you say Boston, though?
We did say
We did say
Okay.
Boston. Yeah.
Boston
Okay.
was number 2.
It's odd.
Wait a minute.
He said it-
That team is... So, I'm assuming...
Yeah, I'm just looking for a team right now. If you give me the
Travis...
if you give me the city, I'm alright. with
is it... how
City
do
will
you,
be fine, right?
how do you
Yeah.
feel about
Yeah.
the New England Patriots?
No, that's
that was-
Boston.
Oh, that's Boston. I didn't know
That's
that was the team. I didn't know
Yeah.
that was the team.
No, but that counts.
That
Boston
region.
takes all the
Yeah.
Boston teams.
All of them. And they're all awful. Terrible
Boston
people.
did take all the Boston teams.
Yeah.
Did you say Boston?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Boston's gone.
Lakers might be
I'm.
a
Yeah,
safe...
you could say L.A. Just say L.A. and maybe that'll get a bunch of.
Travis, I like the way you think. We'll go L.A.
I gotta
No,
guess.
you walked right by the winner. The Bengals was the winner, I'll bet.
Or Kentucky.
The final score there, 90 points.
90.
Yep.
The one you missed, number 3, the Bengals.
Bengals.
When he said that, I'm like, oh, God, he's got it.
Just them.
He's got it.
They are annoying.
They are. They're a pain in the ass.
I can't believe Denver didn't make that.
Curtis bitches about him all the time, too, so.
Yeah. How did the Broncos not make it? The Broncos can't get a home game on Monday Night Football, and they can't even make a list of people hated around here? What a tough week for them.
All right, 7 answers on the board. Give me Soren and give me Darcy. Name a Super Bowl winning head coach during the 1990s.
Petro.
Soren.
During the 1990s,
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson, number 2 on the board. Darcy, can you beat him?
Mike Shanahan.
Shanahan, number 1.
Oh, I can't believe that.
We have to play.
Wow.
The knowledge is getting that.
Pass or
Travis,
play?
we have to play this, Travis.
Okay.
What you got, Travis?
Bill Parcells.
Parcells, number 4.
Oh, no. The Washington football team, or
You're going to have to give a name. That won't do.
yeah, I want to say like Joe Gibbs.
There
Joe
we go.
Gibbs, number 5.
Dick Vermeil.
Oh, he was in 99.
Wow.
They had
No respect.
they had Parcells, though, so
99,
they took 90.
Yeah.
The actual Super Bowl was in 2000, so.
That's
Are
only
you still
only one
correcting?
strike.
Are you still taking out the ones that people get that are factually wrong?
Well, that was he won it in 2000. So
I
that
know,
would be
but
factually wrong.
if the fans had all said Vermeil, would you have left it in?
I
or
would
do
have
you-
left it in. Yeah.
Okay. I was want to understand how we're doing it, because for a while you were doing it different.
It's a moving target. We never know.
We are really digging deep into the memory banks here. Joe Gibbs was a poll I'm not sure I thought I had in me.
Darcy, I'm looking for 3, 6, and 7.
Wow. I just thought of myself.
Got 2 strikes to
see.
play with.
2 strikes to play with. Let's see. We named Shanahan. We named Johnson. We named Gibbs. We named
Parcells.
Parcells
And Vermeil.
and Vermeil. Oh, who won in the 90s?
The 90s, before you were
Oh,
alive.
how many more answers are there?
3.
3, 6, and 7.
There's only 2 that are
I think there's
accurate,
3.
correct?
No, there's 3.
I can think of at least 2 more.
The 49ers head coach. I'm drawing a blank.
That's one of them.
Oh, this isn't right. I'll just say
You got to be a clock on this guy.
Bill Coward. That's not right.
He lost one.
Strike 2.
Back over to Travis.
That was George Seifert.
Yeah, good job.
Number 3.
Took me a second to remember that. I'm like,
Looking
God,
for
what was
number
the-
6 and
defensive
7,
player
Darcy.
took
2
over?
strikes on the board.
Who am I forgetting?
Oh, Travis.
Can I give? Can
No,
I give
you
him a
can't
hint?
give a
you
hint,
can't.
Travis.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
like
Travis
this game?
off.
Come on.
Now leave Travis on.
You just don't let him.
Travis on.
No. So, okay. We've got the Niners, Cowboys, formerly known as the Redskins. We've got the
Broncos.
Broncos,
The Giants.
the Giants.
Oh, this buzzer's going to buzz you,
Yeah,
Darcy.
it's going to buzz me.
This is what happens when you get a 21-year-old on the show.
I know who it is now. It
Yeah,
just
you
hit-
got it. It got you, didn't it?
Yeah,
It came to you.
I was screwing up what I was doing. All right.
What you got,
Hit the
Darcy?
buzz.
I have no idea. Literally none.
So what I was forgetting was I needed to go back to the '89 season, and I was forgetting who won at '90, right? Or was that
Well,
Seifert also? That was Seifert.
That was Seifert. So here's
So-
the thing: the Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls, but 2 coaches.
That's right. It was
Barry
Barry
Switzer.
Switzer and Mike Holmgren.
Mike
For the
Holmgren. That's
Packers.
the 2 names. So
So
I
who
think
do you think's higher?
Holmgren's got to be higher. Switzer's probably the last one.
The one they forgot?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was forgetting on Switzer. We'll go Holmgren.
Mike Holmgren, number 6, 7, Switzer.
There we go.
Okay. How many we get?
That is 95.
95 for the 90s.
All right. Back to Lebo and Travis.
All right, 6 answers on the board. We're going to stay in the 90s, but we're going to baseball. Name me a World Series winning team.
Lebo.
Oh, boy.
Todd.
Hey, Todd did you solid and still.
Fine. I pulled a Curtis for you. Yankees.
Yanks, number 1. Pass or play?
We'll play.
We'll play.
We'll play.
90s.
The
I gotta
baseball, though, like, I rattled some off. Like, he did this for, like, the 80s, and, like, I rattled off. There's a team I'm about to say.
And what was it? Yeah.
Well, but he didn't have them on there. And there's no season. This is, how'd you phrase it again?
Name a World Series winning team during the 1990s.
Well, that's during the season.
Yeah.
And one didn't happen, so there's even less. Because there was
Yeah.
a strike.
How many answers?
6.
Twins.
Minnesota Twins, number 3.
The Blue Jays won twice.
Number 2.
Well, 90 was the Reds.
Cincy, number 4.
Yankees, and then they didn't win. Well, the Marlins.
Florida Marlins, number 6.
Yeah.
What's been answered?
Florida Marlins, number 6. Number 4, Cincinnati Reds. Number 3, the Twins. 2, Blue Jays. Number 1, the Yankees.
There's one left or two.
There's one answer left.
Yeah, well, they won the division 14 times, but only won the
One
World
title.
Series once. But it was in the 90s, and it was the Atlanta Braves.
The Atlanta Braves. That's a full sweep.
That's a pretty
100.
big number.
I've got to go to the record books here. How many did you guys have, Darcy? Add that up for me real quick.
Yeah, use your phone. Get your notes
let's
out.
see.
Do you need that calculator there?
Carry the 0.
None?
You know what? I mean, I think I'm going to go ahead and help Travis out because that's awful.
That was bad.
That is, you were just awful.
Who would have thought picking the 23-year-old wouldn't go according to
In the 90s. two of them were in the 90s.
Travis, you're a winner in my book. We're going to hook you up with it. We're going to hook you up. We're going to go ahead and get you. Don't tell Kevin Timmons. Okay, don't tell him. But you're going to Nick and Jake's. We're going to get you the winner pass
There we
on that
go.
one. Just because Darcy, if you'd had Curtis would have got you some points. I feel bad. So, Darcy's hot streak has come to an end. So
I think I'm on a losing streak now.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row. You were 3-0.
hang on, Travis. We're going to get some information from you.
At 285?
285-0. I've got to go to the record book and find out, is that the biggest?
There may have been a 290
Shutout ever?
somewhere. That's there might have been a 290 score, but maybe not a shutout. That's
My dream is 300-0.
Yeah.
That is my dream.
It's possible.
That's the perfect game.
yeah.
It's eluded us to this point.
I'm glad I could
But I
help
think
you
as
get
long as
almost
Darcy
there.
keeps playing
Got a chance.
and Curtis isn't here, we've got a shot.
Yeah, because we stole the one, right? We needed them to get all of them. Then there was 2 answers. We only got one of them.
What did
That
we
was
steal? I forgot. What was the category we stole?
We stole the '90s champions, and we were it was
football?
Holmgren and Switzer.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
we could only couldn't.
And there were
we
2
couldn't
answers.
Be, we couldn't be perfect.
We couldn't be perfect.
couldn't.
So I
be
walked
perfect.
back there today, and Kyle goes, "You should do well today."
Should do well.
Kyle, I did not do well.
You did fine.
I said on the first category you'd do well.
Hey, you got yourself.
Okay.
You got yourself
You
to
went past the Bengals.
the name of the Washington guy.
Oh,
You
yeah.
had the right answer.
That's true.
The Washington guy. You just forgot about Brett Favre and
But you
Andy
had-
Reid's mentor, Mike Holmgren.
It's
and
your
all that.
complete and total lack of self-confidence that cost you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't fight at all for the Bengals.
I'm
should have been like, it's
I'm
the
not the one going to
Bengals.
Nick and Jake's potentially.
No, you're not.
It's the Bengals. I got this nailed. It's the Bengals all day.
I should have stuck with the Bengals. I'm surprised that, what was it, 3 on the list?
Yeah, it
There's
was number
other-
3.
People don't like the Bengals.
That was a layup. I thought you'd lead
People are
off with
still
the
mad about the mayor and all that stuff. They don't like him.
Yeah. Bengals, brutal. Nobody likes Bengals fans. They're annoying on Twitter. Their ex-players are annoying.
Chili's not
Their
that
current
good.
players are annoying.
Solomon Wilcots and his little tantrum he threw that one time.
Joe Burrow's annoying.
Their chili's annoying. What are we doing here with this
Chase is
cinnamon
annoying.
chili crap?
And they just keep Zach Taylor around, so why not? Sure. Everyone else got fired. He didn't. You're a good boy, though.
After a performance like that, Darcy, I'm left really with only one thing to be able to say to you, and that's you're dismissed.
I deserve that.
Thank you for playing. We appreciate it, buddy. We'll take a break, come back, get a little Todd talk. Todd Lebo's in. He's always brought to you by our friends at Family Leisure. K10 and Ridgeview online at familyleisure.com. They got a big sale coming up. The Memorial Day weekend sale is always a big one. The pools are open. You need some floaties, need some inflatables for the kids. You getting down to the lake? You're going to get them out. We gave away some great stuff. We gave away like a tube for tubing.
Yeah.
Behind the lake, we gave away some inflatables, some inflatable Chiefs pool noodles. Like, you got to have all that pool fun gear.
Yes.
They got all that, plus the hot tub spas, pools, of course, the basketball goals, the
Saunas.
trampolines,
Infrared
saunas,
yes.
grills.
Everything.
Everything. It's at Family Leisure. It's where family and fun come together. They're online at familyleisure.com. That's bad luck. Yeah. He'll be on early and then out. Oh, we're on? It is the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Ty Lebo's with us. Little Lebo sounds.
We're sounds.
Little
We're
Todd
talking.
talk.
We're talking.
Yeah.
It's
There's nothing going on. It's that we've already hit that point in the sports calendar.
Well,
it's baseball or bust.
You know, the only thing kind of
at least till the World Cup gets here.
It is weird. You know, you guys played some of the sound the other day from that World Cup press conference. I think that is an interesting discussion point. That kind of what we're going to be dealing with out here around Kansas City. If we'll even get sound bites from the teams here, if they're going to allow our local teams to go cover the games, I don't even know how it's going to work. I've been dealing with FIFA Media Hub on that front as it stands.
How's that looking, Todd?
It's TBD.
Are you optimistic?
TBD. There'll be other things too. I mean, there'll be like training. Like England will be training here. They'll probably have press conferences. But does that mean we're going to go to those, or is that going to be everyone from the Manchester Gazette going to be over here asking questions like when you watch Ted Lasso? I don't know how it's going to work. I know covering games. I have covered a national, not a FIFA event, but it was a CONCACAF event with the national team, and I didn't care for it. I mean, the little mix zones where they kind of red carpet the guys through after the game, and sometimes they'll talk to you and sometimes they won't. Not a fan.
Is it like the F1, like they're in like a corral, and you all crowd around
and then you just go by
rails,
I guess, and they'll be setting those things up. So it is it's going to be different. However that works, I don't know, because I'm still trying to figure out. We've applied for credentials, and we haven't been totally approved yet. I was talking to Blair about this the other day. They haven't gotten fully approval at the Star either.
Do you have me for a premium seat?
If you didn't apply to get access to the Media Hub yourself, you can't apply for credentials.
So you're killing me.
You're not going to be there on that.
So it won't be my job to go? No? Oh.
For 9 o'clock start.
Man, I guess I missed that.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, that is...
Because I don't want to sit at home with a fridge full of cold Corona Premiers and watch
games?
it.
No. Why would you
I want to get there really early and sit around and eat bad food, and then
not get talked to after the game.
Not get talked to,
be great.
and then take 5 hours to get home.
Sounds wonderful, doesn't it?
Damn.
You're making this sound fun for the fans out there.
If I were a fan and I could go outside and tailgate, or even just get in the building.
TBD on if tailgating's approved.
Well,
we don't know that yet.
But you could. I think you can be able you can go to the Fan Fest.
Yes.
And do all that, and then
hospitality.
They're going to have transportation from there over to the stadiums, or you could just pre-party.
Yes.
At your home, and then Uber to the game. I'm down for all that.
Yeah.
I just if you're going to be on the beat.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah. I just kind of want
have
to
fun with that.
Cover one of the matches to say I did that. Done a lot of things.
Done
some
Todd
things.
Lebo did that.
I did.
That's what you're looking for?
Just these, we like to keep the passes, souvenirs,
yes.
things like that.
I do too. I do love my passes. Not enough anymore. Not as much as I used to, because I ain't doing that.
No, it's going to be interesting to watch how this whole thing kind of unfolds. They had that presser the other day where they're getting the field in order and they're taking all the signs down and putting the other signs up, and FIFA-izing the entire thing. And there's a lot of layers. It's a little bit like the government. This thing, you got FIFA's like the big government, and then they got to get down to, they're dealing with the Chiefs. It's a little layer of something, and then they're dealing with this. Kansas City, KC26, there's little layers of everything, and I don't think it's all entirely worked out yet. But it's coming regardless. The matches are happening, and it's going to be, I think, certainly successful in America. There will be record crowds. It will be the most attended World Cup ever because there are more matches. But I think it'll probably have the highest attendance at games as well because the stadiums are just bigger. You go back and look at old right now, I think the last World Cup might have barely crossed the total number of people who watched the 94 World Cup in America, and that was only 24 teams because no one has stadiums like the Rose Bowl and Giant Stadium and all that stuff back in the day. So these will be big stadiums, although this will be
big, but we are making them smaller in this country now.
Well,
we don't have 110,000 at the Rose Bowl anymore.
And Arrowhead is going to be about 68,000 for this because they chopped out 3,500 seats. So it's
that many?
Yeah, it's a bunch of seats down. you're talking about 100 yards long, several rows back. That's a lot of seats. And then there'll be some other things in the upper deck. There's an entire top part of a section that's out that's going to be media, that they actually had to physically take the seats out, and they're going to build desks for broadcasters. There will be people broadcasting the game from outside, because you've got, I don't know, 50, 100 other countries broadcasting.
For me, I'm just left with the only thought is what could go wrong.
Hey, listen, I don't think I'd want to be in charge of the IT and all that to make all those monitors and headsets and everything work outdoors up there, but not my job. Not my job. This is a gargantuan undertaking for everyone out there at the sports complex. The city especially. I mean, all the stuff that's had to happen, transportation, all these things. But if you just think about making that stadium work, like right now, if you went out and the NFL has a game, you're going to have a national radio broadcast, maybe a Spanish broadcast, network radio broadcast, and a TV broadcast. That's what you're going to have. They're going to have dozens of countries emanating a broadcast from the stadium outside. Not to mention whoever is going to get the primo position, probably, the American broadcast here or whatever. Who knows? And then like maybe if it's Algeria, they'll be inside for their game, but maybe not in, the other one. All of that stuff. And listen, they've done a nice job fixing that stadium up, but it is still 50 plus years old, and they're going to have to be putting stuff all over the place to make it work. It's a monstrous undertaking to get it done. And a lot of these places where they're doing this don't have the acres of parking lot to do what they're going to do in Kansas City. Most NFL stadiums have quite a bit of parking around, but not quite as convenient as Kansas City's parking. So
But there's not going to be that many people that can actually park out there.
No, it's way less.
If you and by the way, I know all the tickets are expensive, but relative to what is already a giant price, if you don't have the expensive seats amongst what are already expensive tickets, you're not parking there.
Yeah, and you could go buy parking, but I've looked at it. It's expensive.
Just a little tip.
Yeah.
There's, I don't know if people know this. There's a gas station across the street.
You can park right at the Casey's.
Right, I don't think they'd mind.
They don't mind.
Just pull in there.
Might be some signs up on that one.
I think you'll be good.
Yeah.
I think you'll be good.
Hey, there's since the Denny's has not been rebuilt, you park right on the rubble of the Denny's.
Is the rubble still there?
I think it's been cleared off.
Has it?
I don't know if it's been scraped all the way clean, but yeah.
I just get in and get out at the practice facility or the ballpark from the practice facility entrance.
Yeah.
Which delights many when I go that route from the ballpark, for the ballpark. So I haven't been up that
all the way up
exit
there,
for a while. I don't know when
the
last time I was up that way.
Yeah, it's the Denny's is gone. I think it's scraped down. There's some safety issues. You have to kind of scrape the building down to nothing.
Is that right?
Yeah, and they have someone has come in and cleaned up the old Adams Mark. I mean, it's they've fixed the broken windows. So it was an absolute eyesore 2 months ago.
So that they can tear it down.
There's still talk of when they build the horse racing track at Arrowhead Stadium or whatever that cockamamie plan was a few months ago from the.
Was there a horse race?
Oh, one of those. The Jackson County executive. You were out that day, I think. They had a press conference where they're talking about what's going to happen to the sports complex, and one of the renderings was a chop Arrowhead in half and have it be a horse track. Anyway,
chop it in half.
Yeah, just cut it in half so it would be open on one end, and you'd have a horse racing track. 'Cause a horse track's much bigger than a football stadium.
What?
You were out of town. You were gone.
Fool hatched this.
It's not a real plan. It looked like an AI rendering to me, but they talked about it.
What do you think a horse track looks like?
Yeah.
It's a mile long.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so
what do you think the Kentucky Derbies run in something a little bit smaller than Arrowhead?
They're
a little bit bigger?
Yeah, they're talking about doing, maybe opening that hotel again. I don't think that's happening. I think, and they've been very adamant out there that they don't want it to be
build a hotel so that you've got room for all the people to stay at when they're going to games 40 miles away in Kansas
right there
or 15 miles away downtown. I think it's a great idea.
I do think there will be
very progressive.
I do think there's going to be Women's World Cup games there in 2031 because they are bidding for the Women's World Cup, and Arrowhead is one of the stadiums that's in the bid, and I think that will be the last hurrah for the sports complex, in my opinion, will be
Okay.
those games. But I don't think you need hotels for those 5 days or whatever that's going to end up being. But they're talking about opening that hotel back up. Maybe. But, I mean, it's a big hotel, and that's a lot of reno. And they were very adamant. Lovoda is the new Jackson County executive, but he was going to run now. He's not going to run. That race has gone crazy. I see that Dan Tarwater is going to run now, former legislator, who his brother, Sean Tarwater, we've had before. We've had Dan on before. I saw that the other day because they're still trying to figure out who was going to be Jackson County legislator. But there's so much talk about what they
County
could do.
commissioner, you mean, or
The Jackson County executive.
yeah?
Executive, the big boss of the legislators. Not the boss of the legislators. They all work together. I didn't mean to call anyone a boss. Come on. But when Lovoda had his...
I don't know why you're
presser-
worried. I mean, politics is such a friendly game.
It's so friendly.
Nobody gets offended
They were
anymore.
talking about, here's the deal. What we're not going to do is have a data center out there, because everyone's mad about data centers, right? Because they take all the energy and the electricity and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, maybe so, but that actually might be a place where you've already got a bunch of land and you wouldn't be messing up homeowners and whatever. Maybe not data centers, but I think, there's a lot of logistical warehouses and things like that. You couldn't get a much better place to get on and off the highway for big trucks.
There's
and
rail
everything.
lines there, right? Those are active rail lines down there by the
Leeds. I think you could probably get to
And
something.
Leeds has been
Empty
flattened as well, right?
Forever. That's been
Yeah.
gone. Nothing.
So
So
it's flattened too, right?
I think it might be.
you could build-
That's another road I haven't driven down in a while.
you could build from the complex all the way down to there, whatever you need to
all
build.
kinds of stuff. But I don't
I'm
think
thinking high rise apartments, high end condos.
I don't think that's maybe the smartest move either.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I think it should be something where it actually is jobs for people to work at.
You don't think the high end condos will like hearing the repaired helicopter engines rev at full blast on a regular basis?
No.
I finally decided that's what must be going on when we walk out of the practice facility and you hear like, is a helicopter
Well, that's where
taking off right behind? In there like
There's the police. The
an
police,
engine, like a helicopter or plane engine repair?
There's an aeronautics school down there that I think they turn engines on. There's also, I think that might be where Kansas City police helicopters are going, because the gun range is down there. That's where you go practice.
So why don't we stick with
shooting.
that kind of stuff?
I think that would be fine.
Okay.
And I like the big ideas. I don't like to poo-poo big ideas.
No, I
but
agree.
when I watched the press conference where they talked about what possibly could happen there, I was like, I don't know, man. This doesn't seem like the best.
What else?
thing.
What else was it? Horse
Well,
track?
there was a river walk. There was, of course, like a Ferris
a river.
wheel.
What river?
Tell that to San Antonio. They made a river. Tell it to Oklahoma City. They made a river. I got to go back and find
No,
the pictures
San
for
Antonio.
you.
That is the river.
Yeah, they did a little work to make it work like that. But I don't know where you were. I was hosting a show that day. You were gone. I think it might have been when you were. It must have been March. You guys were on a college visit or something.
Was that what it was?
I think so. And
I
it was-
did not. Nobody. I always come back and go, "What did I miss?" I was told, "Oh, nothing. Nothing."
I got.
Apparently, this was a fantastic day.
It was something.
of really thoughtful, big ideas.
Big ideas.
Nobody shared anything with me.
I got to look at the dates on that. Oh my gosh, it was something else. There were some crazy.
I think
pictures.
that's the last time. That's the only time I've been off, isn't it? Is when I took that little trip.
I think so. I gotta find.
You know me. I leave months of vacation on the board.
Always.
I'm never gone.
It was March 26th. That was you were gone then.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the story from Fox 4. I'm looking it up. See if
So
I
give
got
me some of the
pictures
other sweet ideas.
on it. I remember, Kyle. You remember there was a picture. Definitely was a horse track, and there was definitely like some restaurants, blah blah blah. And I think there was a
How about a horse
There was
track with a data center on the
there was a
infield?
fountain. There was a fountain. I remember that. There was definitely a fountain in there.
Just one?
Oh, and then there was a.
Are they going to tear down Kauffman Stadium except for the fountain and just leave that up?
Well, that's always everyone's big question. Who's tearing this down? And who's paying for it?
Oh,
That's a real thing.
I mentioned that when they were voting on whether or not to ready. I'm like, here's one thing to consider. If they both leave, what are you doing? Because they're not on the hook for teardown in their lease.
Let's see. Oh, here's a picture. Let me see. Yeah, there was one of the pictures that they put up. They just cut Arrowhead in half and it's a horse track.
Is it a dog track?
Arrowhead Downs.
A dog track might fit in there.
Arrowhead
a horse
Downs.
track is not.
It's Arrowhead Downs. They can be packed like that too.
What on God's earth?
Oh man.
Have you? There are like 4 races a year that are slammed for horse racing.
Other than that, you can gamble on it from home.
And they're having to move them
Yeah.
to make them still popular. And by the way, they're not, two of them are not racing in their home track.
Oh, yeah, because they're doing
The
things.
Preakness is at Pimlico because they're finally redoing the Preakness. Or no, Pimlico is where the Preakness is usually at. They're at they're at
Belmont's in New York.
Well,
right?
I was getting ready for Dick Girardi, who we're going to talk to, because I thought usually we wouldn't keep talking if there's going to be no Triple Crown, but they are at Laurel Park in Maryland, and they're at Saratoga again this year,
Right.
instead of the Belmont, because they're still renovating that. So yeah, let's get into that horse race game.
Yeah.
Maybe we can race 2-year-olds.
Get them ready.
What do you think?
Yeah. There was, and listen, they weren't saying this is exactly what they're going to do. And like I said, I don't like to run down big ideas, but that one about had me on the ground, because they're not building horse tracks today. I mean, that's not the boom. It's not the deal.
Everyone's doing it, Todd.
I don't think so. I'll find more of these pictures. Yeah, it was something. I'll find more of these pictures. There was a horse track. There was definitely a
fountain.
A fountain for sure. I think there was kind of a little river walk thing. They had several kind of pictures that they were possibilities.
What about like a farmer's?
There's a task force.
What about a farmer's market?
Well,
Todd?
you know what? That's something that would get used.
Farmer's market.
More than other things.
What about a farmer's market?
You got to have a farmer's market in every town.
You know,
Yeah, they got a task force. They did not ask
not
me
to
be
run
on the task
down,
force.
not to run down Josie's place, but how about a flea market?
They got
You know?
one just down the street.
A
at 60
swap and shop.
That's at
Remember how
63rd
all
Street at the drive-in.
All the drive-ins, is they still have it?
Oh yeah, that's right close there. That's their turf. Don't get involved in that.
How about a drive-in theater?
Those don't get made anymore either. They're closing all those as well. Oh, here's more of the pictures. Here we go.
How about a Blockbuster?
That looks just like Truman Sports Complex, doesn't it?
Give me this.
I think
Give me that.
if you click, if you just click the little arrows, you'll see them all.
Nobody told me any of this. Of course, I was well read. Oh, is that the baseball stadium in the background?
I think so.
We're gonna put some tennis courts, a fountain,
Maybe it's pickleball. I don't know. Could be either or.
hotel. Well, how about a roller coaster?
Of course.
This is literally like, you just give me a list of everything anyone's ever done.
Put it into
And we'll
Chat
put it there.
GPT and make him make it for us. But like I said, I'm more in tune to a warehouse. But the Riverwalk, I mean, there's you can find a way.
They can't build enough. You go out 35, they just keep building the warehouse, the modern warehouse things. They're building them everywhere.
Yeah, and they would love to have a highway access like this.
Yeah.
Would love it.
Like I said, there's rail close by, too. All right, we'll come back. Todd leave a little Todd Talk, brought to you by our friends at Family Leisure. They're at K10 and Ridgeview. Their big Memorial Day, the sale that happens on the 3-day weekend that's coming up. They'll have all kinds of great deals: pools, hot tub spas, patio furniture, arcade games. Todd, I'm going to check out an arcade game. I think I need another one.
You need another?
I think so.
Might as well.
I think so. The wife would love it. I'll put it right next to the massage chair. We'll take a break. More with Todd Lebo next.
The program with Soren Petro.
He is not a journalist in the normal sense of the word. He's a columnist, and he's a person who dispenses opinion.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, listen, Hen House has been serving me and my family my entire life, whether it's Prairie Village, Corinth, or now at 119th and Row and 135th and Metcalf. Hen House has always been there. And it's a great place for you to get ready for the biggest stage in soccer. That's right, soccer's coming to Kansas City in Hen House. Your journey to a world of flavor starts right here at your neighborhood Hen House Market. Whether you're hosting watch parties or just gearing up for match day, Hen House has everything you need, from fresh, locally sourced favorites to international tastes that bring the World Cup to your table. Proudly 100% teammate-owned, Hen House has been there. Family serving your family since 1923. That's more than 100 years. So if you're putting on a great spread for the games or just have a big weekend festivity, get to the delicatessen. Their party trays are a great way to go. You can go to henhouse.com and see all of those right now. Maybe it's going to be an early match and you want to have, I don't know, some of the wonderful bagels, croissants from the bakery. Maybe you got a birthday coming up. Don't forget about the cakes, the wonderful pies. The bakery is an absolute lifesaver in my household. Hen House has you covered no matter what what it is you're getting ready to do this wonderful spring and summer season. So go right now to henhouse.com. Check out all kinds of specials. Whether it's back at the meat counter, the only place where you can get the USDA Choice Certified Hereford beef, the wonderful seafood selections, whether it's that bakery, the delicatessen, or just get on in there for a little lunch, maybe grab some dinner. We do it all the time in my family. I'd say we're probably in Henhouse at least 4 days a week. Henhouse has got my family covered. They've got Kansas City covered. They've had us since 1923. Now 100% teammate owned. So get to your neighborhood Henhouse Market today. Henhouse, your local neighborhood market.
Hey, Kansas City, as we gear up for the World Cup coming to Kansas City in just a few weeks, we've got exciting news. Today from 5 to 6 p.m., you can come out and see Matt Beasler, hometown hero soccer star, at the newly remodeled Russell Stover retail store at the Legends, as they unveil the new Russell Stover Soccer Capital of America Heart Box. Plus, the first 25 youth athletes to meet Matt score an exclusive spot at his soccer clinic this August. Russell Stover has 2 local retail locations, the Legends and KCK, and just west of I-35 on Shawnee Mission Parkway.
All right, our Twin Peaks end of the hour answer. Bobby Wood Jr. had a 70-game errorless streak end yesterday. He just fell short of the Royal shortstop record of 76 games, held by who?
I mean,
this was a great question, or a silly answer. It was great.
The guy I just remember being truly great was Adalberto Mondesi. So I'm gonna take a stab in the dark with Mondesi.
Nailed it.
We guessed for like 20 minutes.
Ah.
No, more modern.
More modern.
Yeah, like the only more modern is Bobby. No, who was before Bobby? God, I don't know. I can't remember. I go, well, it wouldn't have been Adalberto Mondesi. Yeah.
And I'm going to
He
look
went 70
up.
games without an error. Was it because he didn't get to anything?
It was over 3 years.
Yeah,
It was over 3 years.
Those 76 games took place between August 2020 and April 2022.
It was 3 years. That's crazy. But you know what? He didn't make any errors. Did he make any errors? Because he played outfield, too, a little bit, right? He played a little whatever.
Did they ever send him out to the outfield? We talked about it, but they never did. I don't remember him playing in the outfield.
No, I don't see it. Like a couple of DHs. By the way, he has not played in the major leagues since here. I think the Red Sox maybe finally
The Red Sox
gave up on
traded
him.
a lefty reliever who threw about 7 innings for the Royals, and the Royals got the better of it.
Somehow. It was just good for not to get asked questions about it.
Well, they sent a lefty reliever that was hurt, and he ended up being healthier than Adalberto Mondesi.
You know, his best year, you know when he thrived?
He did not. He had that 5 minutes where people were talking about, we got Mondesi and Mahomes.
You remember the lefty Josh Taylor?
That's who it was, Josh Taylor, yeah.
One of his better years.
Dude, if they had gotten...
He led the league in stolen bases with 24. That was in 2020 when there was only 60 games and there were no fans there.
Yeah, yeah.
That was his most peaceful, best time he ever had.
Yes.
Because he accumulated 1.3 in WAR, and basically that's a third of a season. That would have been
Yeah, which is kind of what he did every year. And the rest of the year he was -4, right? Adalberto Mondesi, was he... I think he was Dayton Moore's Waterloo.
Probably was.
I think that's what ended the run. There were other mistakes, don't get me wrong, but like we're all in on him. And I'll tell you part of it. I think John Sherman was a smart enough guy to be like, so the guy we took second's playing third so that this guy can play a handful of games at short? Why are we doing this?
The wild thing about him is he played for the Royals in parts of 8 seasons because he played in the World Series in 1980, and it added up to 350 games in 8 years. Went through a lot. I mean, I know there's a lot of emotional scars and stuff with him after Yordo passed away and all that stuff, but wow, what could have been?
That was not it. Let me just categorically deny that as being the problem.
All right, what NFL team holds the record for most penalties in a game? Brought to you by LaFetta.
player, coach, pain in the ass. He's done it all on the gridiron from South Bend to Arrowhead. From football on the radio, back to football, then more radio, then a little more football, and now radio again. It's Chiefs Hall of Famer Tim Grunhard on the program.
Brought to you by The Plumbing Pro. When you really need a plumber, the one to know is The Plumbing Pro. Visit them online at theplumbingpro.com.
You're in the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Second half of the program begins right now. We welcome Tim Grunhard, middle-aged woman, to the program here. Are you kidding me? One episode?
One episode. I'm a one-episoder.
Lebo, you're a binger, right? You get a good show, you'll binge it. Lebo said, here, just let me ask you a question.
Get in here, Lebo.
Get in here, Todd. Don't act like you didn't get here at 1:40. Sit down and do some work.
Grinding.
Now you're grinding. I can see it.
Hey,
buddy.
Timmy comes in. We're just chatting right before we started. And he goes, have you watched that Hulk Hogan documentary?
Oh, it's great.
it is awesome.
He said it's great, and I go, no. I said, I'm actually waiting on it because my wife says she wants to watch it. I said, but, we got to finish The Pit first.
Yeah.
Because she's one episode.
Oh.
You can only watch one episode. I'm like, let's knock out 3 right here.
Yep.
I actually don't have work.
We watched 2 episodes of something in one day.
And that was a
That was
miracle?
a binge.
Yeah.
It was a binge.
Well, but
So you're like me then.
No,
I mean, if we get to 2,
he'll
then-
binge.
I'll-
Tim
You're a
goes,
binger?
I got to side with your wife. I'm one episode.
Like,
what
I'll
are you
go
talking
if
about?
I'm watching something
What the
myself.
hell else do you have to do?
I was also the guy that got the Halloween candy and made it last to Christmas because I wanted to have extra. So my brother would be downstairs and I'd come down with a Tootsie Roll or something.
Where'd you
and
get
I said,
that?
yeah, it's my Halloween candy. He
He's
said,
a
you're
squirrel.
not done with that yet? I
So
said,
you were
no.
a tight ass even as a child.
I was a
right.
tight ass as a child.
He's squirreling away all the stuff for
I
the
scrolled
winter.
away. So I don't like to, especially if I like a show, I don't want it to be over.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Really?
one day, and then what do you have to look forward to? So I'm like, one episode, and then like The Diplomat, one of my favorite programs.
Yeah.
I'll start
I
watching.
mean, that's a one and done. My wife says, let's watch another. I said, nope.
We just finished Rooster,
She likes
but it's
it.
a once-a-week show. It's on Sunday night
Yeah.
on HBO.
Yeah.
So you're watching it in real time.
In real-ish time. Well, we don't watch. I mean, it's on at
Yeah.
9 o'clock on Sunday. Come on now. We're watching that on Monday. So we watched it on Monday, and I told her before it
so
started.
sorry.
She gets so mad. I was like, what now? And I said, listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. This is the last Rooster. For a while. They're going to make more, but I don't know when it's going to be. She said, well, I don't like that. I said, well, they don't just make shows every day for you.
Was she like that one?
She did like that show.
'Cause
It's
we-
a good
we-
half-hour comedy.
I think we've only got 3 left of season 2 on The Pit, and then I'm gonna have. This is like, my wife has watched 36 television shows with me since we've been married over 21 years.
Wow, you have them marked down.
No, and 27 of them are The Pit.
Yeah, they're all
So
medical
like, if I'm gonna get any time,
yeah.
where we're in the same room, I'm gonna have to find a show and find it quick.
Rooster's 30 minutes, and it's comedy.
I'm not trying to like delve into your personal life here, but do you guys go down and watch it in your movie theater?
Yes.
Is that where you watch TV?
The
Or is that just
football
like
theater?
a special
Yes.
thing?
No.
It's a movie theater. It's got movie theater seats. It goes up on an angle.
It is an
It's
effort to get all the way down there to the theater.
You know, a great. You got to do applause, right?
I did applause. Did a fantastic job.
They always do.
If you'll spend a nickel,
you could have something.
You
nice,
could have
Tim.
something nice, Tim.
Well, I see.
You just paid for 4 weddings, Soren. Leave it alone.
Yeah, I told it in my daughter.
But you're only supposed to pay for 2. You got 2 boys and 2 girls.
Yeah. Good luck with that. that doesn't fly anymore. I told one part of my speech was, listen, guys, I'm running out of material and I'm running out of money.
Yeah.
So
You're not
no
running
loss.
out. You never had any material, but you have plenty of money.
Yeah.
You're fine on that front.
Well.
So stop. So with it,
after doing this show, I've been doing this show for you 25 years, and you have the gall to say I have no material. I'd be jumping off, or I almost threw a fellow workmate off over here.
Did you ever?
If I didn't have any material?
Are you sharing your network's passwords and stuff with your kids? You make them? Are they on their own?
They are. No, we share.
Are you still paying for their phones?
Yes.
Do they give you money for?
But that's the only thing we're paying for.
Do they give
Everything
you
else.
money for them?
How old are they?
Oh, from
what to what?
They're well in their 20s, and they're
My son's on
very,
our phone
very
plan,
well
but
established.
He gives us money for it.
Yeah.
Well,
because it's a family plan.
My daughter,
it
another
costs
story.
the same whether
It's
you have. We have the family plan.
It's
whatever
just
that
cheaper
is.
for them. It's a cheaper rate than you could get if you went out today.
Absolutely. So
okay.
Whatever it is, it's.
As soon as you get a grandkid on the phone plan, it's really time to kick him off.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So
Get
the
out,
Hogan,
he's leaving.
The Hulk Hogan thing is.
Oh, it's good.
It's
Very
good.
good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was watching. I was doing my cardio right before I got here. I was over working out at Results. My
humble
over there
brag.
for and doing some cardio and watching the Hulk. And I was ready to come in here. Yeah, man. Here we go. Let's talk about the NFL schedule. Little Hulkamania, little Chiefs-mania. It was it got me fired up. I'm ready to go, Kyle. I'm ready to go, buddy.
He was all fired up, and I'm walking behind him coming back in, and Grunhard goes, "Well, you want to talk about the schedule?" I'm like, "Nah, not really."
I'm like, okay.
And I sat down, and he kind of waits a second. He goes, "Well, what the hell are we going to talk about?" I got some things written down. All right.
You know, it'd be nice if you shared that with me every once in a while. I always ask Kyle, I'm like, Kyle, what are we going to talk about? I don't know.
Well, when I share it with you, you go home and write up 7 pages of notes.
Well, I'd like to be prepared.
And then
you're going to give me crap.
Then you start.
You weren't prepared for that. Well, yeah, no crap. I mean, I tried to read your mind. After 20-some years, I feel like I got a pretty good pulse what you're going to talk about, but I'm never quite sure.
Then you start reading the notes, but then you're a runaway freight train. And there's like, I wrote these notes down. I'm going to get every one of these notes on the air.
I'm getting everything I can possibly get on the air if I'm going to do the work.
Yeah. So you got to remember, this is more like making a movie. You watch an hour and 32-minute movie. They did not record 1 hour and 32 minutes. They recorded like 250 hours of movie, and then the best 1 hour and 32 minutes gets in.
But the funny thing is, the producer and the director gives the script to the actors so they can look at the script. All right, it's not like you show up and say, "Okay,
this is more like the movie Jackass."
Act 1, Scene
really not a
1,
script.
Scene 1, go.
It's really not a script.
What are we talking about?
We're going to light a firecracker and ask you to bend over, Tim. That's how this works. And then where it goes from there, we don't know.
It always goes somewhere very, very acceptable and happily. I can't even think of the words.
That's what we aim for, to be acceptable.
So tell me, how
about that schedule, Tim?
Are you going to watch the Hulk Hogan thing?
Yeah, 100%.
Answer.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Right.
I watched the Vince McMahon. Did you watch that one?
I did. Very good. Yeah.
That was very good. I think it was 4 episodes. They could have done it in about 2.
Yeah.
Like they kind of just stretched that one out.
The one I'm in right now is the 3rd episode. I'm not sure how many episodes there are. They're talking about how.
Are you on Hulk? Is this Hulk Hogan? Okay.
Disappointed when Hulk Hogan was taking steroids. I'm like, okay, listen.
Stop.
First of all,
who didn't know?
He went on Arsenio Hall and said, I'm a Hulkamania. I don't take any steroids. I take my supplements, and he lied about it, and then he kind of lost a little bit of that luster because everybody knew he was on steroids. But the fact that people were upset, first of all, it was WWF or WWE. It was professional wrestling. Those guys are just, they were all just humongous.
I don't think the British Bulldog was on
circus.
steroids. I don't think the Ultimate Warrior was on steroids.
You don't think the Ultimate Warrior was?
No, nor the British Bulldog.
I think the Ultimate Warrior
they had
was.
these
When you
really
see him on this show, you're gonna see how big and ripped
they were
all just.
They were on everything but roller skates. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. And who was the guy that was the governor of Minnesota? I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura. So Jesse's on there, and he's like.
Jesse admits that he.
He admitted. Yeah. And he said everybody was. They all were. It was basically like being in the circus. They were like, they were just basically.
It's not really that different now.
No.
I don't think they're on steroids because they are not as big. There are a couple guys that'd be like, well, this guy's the guy I'd test.
But they probably have. Do they test?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they. I think there's kind of.
They might be on like HGH. It might be on like stuff like that. I don't know if they're on any anabolics.
I think they. I think
there's all kinds of different options now.
Well, for back in those days, they were on the road for 200 plus days. You couldn't and then all the. It's like, listen, it's not an MMA fight every night, right? But it's still very taxing on the body, obviously.
Right.
All the things they do now, even more with them jumping out of the ring and tables, and they're even more going down that road. But
They're stuntmen now.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And now, but back then you couldn't have done all that and then still gotten the kind of workouts in it would take to carry that kind of muscle mass.
And they talk about how these guys back then. I mean, it wasn't all private jets and everything else. They were bussing it.
Dude, one of my favorite moments ever, flying back to Syracuse to go back to school. And I land, and I did not realize that the wrestling was in town. And getting off the plane, getting to the baggage claim the same time I was. I don't know where they were coming in. They were coming from someplace else. But I get to the baggage claim at Syracuse, and they were all on a flight. The best was George the Animal Steele, who couldn't be controlled and would eat the turnbuckle, wearing a sport coat.
I believe he was a school teacher in his.
And I'm like, George, you're the man. Oh, thanks, man.
It's funny you say it because in 1987 or 88,
Jim Hacksaw Duggan was part of the group. It was that era of wrestling. The Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik. Well,
Iron Sheik was on the flight.
So the Iron Sheik and a bunch of those guys were in there working out over in our facility at Notre Dame because they were going to wrestle at Notre Dame that night. They're all working out, and they're all buddies. They were all pals.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were all really tight. Didn't matter whether you're a good guy or a bad guy. If you were the Iron Sheik or you were, Captain America, it didn't really matter. They were good buddies, and it was kind of funny to see that. But and then when they got in the ring, they just hated each other. It was very entertaining. It's very
I don't know if you know this,
show.
Tim, but when you watch the Batman movies, the actors that play the Batman and Joker, they talk to each other when they're not filming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's obviously a movie, and what you're trying to portray is
it's fiction, like wrestling. It's fiction.
I get it. I'm agreeing with you.
It's
I know
real,
it's fiction.
man.
I know it's fiction, but it was very interesting to watch how they were just had these relationships that were just completely against their character. But it was fun. So it's a good show, and I recommend if you guys are looking for something to do, watch it. It's good.
Did you watch The Iron Claw?
I did.
I thought that was good.
Yeah, I did. I remember watching those guys back in the day when the dad, back
Fritz.
when it was Sunday mornings.
Fritz Von Erich.
On I think
WCCW what was the Texas League? They were down in the Texas League.
It was the Texas League, right.
I forget what it was, but yeah.
Yeah. Watch that. I used to have, it was the Crusher, and who is this? There was a couple guys like that. I can't remember exactly their names right now, but
the Bruiser Brody, the Tommy
Bruiser,
Wildfire Rich.
The Bruiser and his cousin, the Crusher.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Early mornings, Sunday morning would be on.
Well,
Wouldn't miss it.
Here in Kansas City, we had our local at.
Yeah, you did.
God, what's the arena in KCK?
I was there. I saw the Allman Brothers there. It was outstanding.
I saw Candlebox there. It was the only concert I ever saw there. Not
Memorial.
Yeah, Memorial. What is it? What's the arena in it's a nice arena.
Not Hale, is it?
Lebo says yes.
Memorial Arena?
Yeah.
Memorial, yeah.
And they would do, I think, Saturday nights, and then they'd run it on TV on
Sunday mornings.
And that's where we had, that was Harley Race's home turf when he wasn't on tour. And then Bulldog Bob Brown, and we had a number of them. But then they all ended up being security guards at the Woodlands. or a patient of my wife's.
There you go.
Harley Race was a patient of my wife's. Wife's an occupational therapist, not a doctor. I'm not trying to, but she did help them with rehab after a number of different, I guess a couple of different surgeries. So
yeah. I can see Lynn doing that.
Yeah, well, she's pretty good at what she does.
It's probably tough.
Probably
tough.
Yeah,
she's not gonna give you any breaks.
No, when she was had to get her units in before she left on vacation, she'd roll in 6A. Ready to exercise?
Yeah, I know.
I gotta hit the road. I gotta get out of town. So get up, sleepyhead. Time to squeeze some foam balls, and I don't know what all the rehab requires, but
depending on, I've had every surgery, so I probably know exactly what it was, from shoulders to hips to knees.
What's next, Tim?
Nothing's next. Better know. I'm just about
I was
done.
asked this question because I actually have a family member who just had a hip done and is going to have the other hip done.
Right.
What is the total right now for you on surgery? What all's fake?
Total?
Let's start there on all the fakes.
I have 4 fakes: 2 shoulders, a hip, and a knee.
Okay. How's the other hip and knee looking?
They're hanging in there.
Okay.
Probably not. Hopefully never, but not for a while.
Okay.
Total surgeries, well in the 20s.
Really?
Well in their 20s.
Where else?
I had 7 knee surgeries.
On the same
scopes on the same knee. Had 2 on the other, and then had the one with the 7 replaced. Had a bunch of elbow surgeries, 2 on each elbow. Had the 2 shoulder surgeries. I had my nose surgery. I had my thumb surgery. A bunch. Just had a bunch. So they just
was it worth it?
Keep going. Was it worth it? Yeah, I'd do it again. I mean, it was a great life. I got to be a performer. I mean, and let's face it, in the NFL, you're entertainment as a performer, so you get to perform.
The roar of the crowd's pretty cool.
Absolutely, it's an adrenaline rush. It's an adrenaline rush. So, I would do it again. There's a lot of pain and a lot of rehab, and it took a big toll on your physically, mentally, and your family life. But we made it through, so all good.
Okay,
I'd do it again.
I'll take
and
that.
And was able to use that opportunity to go and coach and do radio and do motivational speaking and try to make a difference and have people enjoy the game of football, which I love so much. That's why I do radio. Hopefully you can give somebody 1 or 2 little things they can look at during a game or in preparation for the season that they can look at and enjoy the game just a little bit more. And I think that's what I owe to the game. I remember with Mike Webster, who passed away obviously in the movie Concussion, not completely all accurate, but a lot of it was accurate. But one of the things I always felt bad. I was like, he got me through some really, really rough times. My father passed away. I had injuries, and I was down and out after some bad games, and kind of worked me through that. And I always felt bad that I wasn't able to pay him back, and nobody knew that he was going through the things he was going through. So I was really, really took it hard that I wasn't able to at least reach out and maybe get him some help and maybe help him out a little bit. So I said, if I get a chance, I'm going to try and help out any kid. I'm going to help out anybody who give me an opportunity to use football as a vehicle to have success in their life. So that's what I've been trying to do.
Yeah, been doing a good job.
Yeah, thank you.
That's it. There's all the nice talk.
That's it.
That's all you get. We'll take a break. We'll talk about the opening game, speculate on some more schedule stuff in the NFL. I want to get into some recruiting, maybe some college football playoffs. Our football insider, our life coach, all-around swell guy, Tim Grunhard is here. He's brought to you by our friends at The Plumbing Pro, the one to know if you've got any kind of problems, if it won't wash, if it won't drain, if the hot water heater ain't working, you call The Plumbing Pro. They're the one to know. They can help you out with any of those plumbing needs. Don't waste your whole Saturday trying to fix it yourself when they're real experts that have been solving plumbing problems in Kansas City since 1980. Locally owned and operated, the one to know is The Plumbing Pro. Online at theplumbingpro.com.
All right, our La Feta end of the hour answer. What NFL team holds the record for the most penalties in a game?
Lay the question on me again.
What NFL team holds the record for most penalties in a single game?
I don't know what year, but it's got to be a Raider team.
It is the Raiders.
Yeah.
It is the Raiders. Is that or is your Monday Night Meltdown team? You guys piled up
that
a few.
was a pretty bad day. I can't remember how many penalties we had, but it was a bunch.
When was this Raiders effort?
The Raiders they had 23 penalties on October 30th, 2016, in a win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That was 2016.
16?
Wow.
23 penalties and a win.
God.
That's a lot of penalties.
Was Juwan Taylor on that team?
No.
Huh? Okay, I didn't, just thought I'd ask. Wouldn't be shocked if they said, yeah, he was, would you?
He had quite a few penalties for the Kansas City Chiefs.
How much will not having those penalties aid the Chiefs?
Certainly won't hurt them.
Like, how much does that... Like, there was a time when the Chiefs' offense seemed, early in the Mahomes-Reed marriage, that they were so far ahead. And, Reed, Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce marriage with them in their prime, that it didn't matter what it was.
You could work through it if you have guys like that.
I think I've got a T-shirt that says third and whatever. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, we'll get it done. Like, that has not been the case the last
but
years.
in this day and age, I can't really think of any team that could overcome a lot of penalties. It's just not the way it is. I mean, even in the last, 10 years, defenses have gotten so much more athletic, so much faster, so much stronger. I think defenses have gotten much, much better at what the offenses are trying to implement and run on the field, that you really can't put yourself in bad positions very often in a game and expect to convert or expect to win. And we saw that with the Chiefs. If you're sitting at 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 15, yeah, I agree with you. Back in the early Mahomes days, it's like, yeah, they're going to convert this, and they knew it. And guess what? The defense knew it too. But in this day and age, you just don't see that as much. And I just think that guys are. Look at the draft and look at the athletes that are being put in different positions with linebackers running 4.6 40s and 4.5 40s, a defensive linemen that are just humongous and are so athletic, and defensive coordinators having a really good feeling what offenses are trying to do, especially in those situations, that you can't put yourself in that situation. And I think the Chiefs will be better off if they don't have those penalties like that.
Yeah, well, for sure. I mean, I think they were a team that, listen, I gave the numbers comparing them to the Rams, and they were 1.5 yards per attempt worse than the Rams last year.
Yeah.
So, you had to stay on schedule. If you're the Chiefs. And the penalties just crippled it. And then I think the part that other people don't get, and did you call any of your own plays in high school?
No.
Okay.
No.
But your offensive coordinator, you don't have 50 gotchas.
Yep.
You're setting some things up with some let's run power and let's get our 6 yards, 2 yards, 5 yards, 1 yard, 8 yards, 1 yard, and now we'll play action off that. Right?
Yep.
And the play action pass there, or the bootleg after we've stretch played it to the right, we're going to bootleg out the back. When that defensive end starts crashing and he's not paying attention, we're going to come out the back and we'll strike for a good 15-yarder right there. You can't do that every down. And so when you get that, when it's a critical point in the game, if you're not leading or if you're trailing or you're even, and you're like, listen, we can't be punt back. My defense has just been on the field for 12 of the last 14 game minutes. We have to stay on the field, so I'm gonna burn that bootleg out the back door. And from that point on, that defensive end's gonna stay home. So we got one shot at it, and we're gonna have to get it right now. And when Juwan Taylor jumps off sides and negates a 12-yard run, or a 12-yard reception because he's lined up in the backfield, not to just pick on him, anybody with a penalty, and you just burnt that one,
yeah,
you're like it just takes away. Like, the play card is not unlimited.
The other thing I want you to think about too is is if you think about just the analytics of football, and you and I were at a conference together at UMKC.
Actually, the Linda Hall Library.
Yep. I said that last time too.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
It's right next to UMKC, but they're actually not.
They're not
affiliated.
Okay,
They're just right next.
I thought it was a library for the university.
Yeah, just had a soccer one. I'm shocked they didn't call you. I thought you were in the soccer analytics. No,
there's no chance I was being at that one. But if you just think about the analytics and all the information, and with AI and with all the people that are working behind the scenes, just breaking down what teams are doing, when they're doing them, what their tendencies are, you just don't have a lot of shots. You know, what did the Chiefs do on 3rd down and 8 to 10? They could tell you exactly what the Chiefs have done for the last 4 or 5 years, and what they're leaning on calling, how they're going to do it, what formation they're going to run. And defensive coordinators, they have all those notes, and they have all those people sitting around, and they're feeding that information down. Now, you don't want to be, paralyzed. What do they call it? Paralyzation by
analysis.
Paralysis by analysis. You don't want to be paralysis by analysis, because you don't want your players to be freezing. And as a coach, it's really quick. But the reality is that all week long they have a bunch of people that are sitting in some dark room in a basement of a stadium somewhere, breaking down every situation. Now, we used to break down the red zone. We'd break down 3rd down situations. We'd break down, blitz and blitz pickups and all those kind of things. And there was a lot of that going on, but it's gone to a whole nother degree of difficulty with all the people they have doing this work. So it's hard. It's hard to call a play. And, on the defensive side, it's hard to execute a blitz or execute a stop too. I mean, it's a difficult process.
Well, I've been spending a lot of time looking at the Rams compared to the Chiefs, because I think the Rams, for one, I think Patrick Mahomes is going to start, at some point in his career, he's going to start looking more like Matt Stafford.
Yep.
And that's a guy that, is stationary. He's not doing everything. He's not buying extra time and all that kind of stuff. You can close that door if you want.
It's the
reflection's killing
it's
you.
Like burning my eyes off of my iPad.
Yes. You can close that door behind you, and that'll stop the sun from coming in.
At the break, I will.
Okay. But the the Rams only ran the football like I think it was like one more time a game than the Chiefs did, but the production was so much higher.
Yeah.
And they only threw the ball like a time and a half per game more. Like, they really didn't have that many more offensive plays than the Chiefs. They were just so immensely more productive. They were a yard and a half per attempt, not per completion, per attempt.
Well, and those things are connected.
And the passing game, of course they are. And I think what the Rams did and what Andy Reid couldn't figure out, or whatever you want, what the Rams did and the Chiefs didn't do was, you go light box, we'll take the 6.
Absolutely.
We'll take the 4. We'll take the 6. We'll take the 5. We'll take the 2. We'll take the 6. We'll take, and get them out of what they were doing. I mean, the Chiefs, and I think, the Chiefs had the least amount of heavy boxes in the NFL. They faced the most light boxes, and they were still awful in the run game.
And I think,
which is why they got Kenneth Walker, but they got to look at the scheme too.
Absolutely, and I think Andy also needs to sit back and reflect a little bit, because I do think he's still a creative mind offensively, and I think that he does have a good arsenal of plays. But the oxygen for the Chiefs, I say this all the time on the offensive side, is space. The Chiefs have not been able to create space, and even though they have a light box, they can't create the space that they need to create in the passing.
For running or passing?
Passing.
Yeah, because if somebody comes out with 11 DBs and nobody's within 7 yards of the ball, like last year, Andy Reid would have thrown it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we're making a huge exaggeration to make the point, but they gave you yards, and he wouldn't take it.
I think, and I don't want to say he's at fault for this, but I do think that as a coach, you always have to grow. You have to evaluate yourself, evaluate your performance, evaluate your productivity, and I think that maybe that's one of the things he learned from last year, is he's got to evaluate his productivity also, because I agree with you. The Chiefs, they had a plan, and they were sticking with it, and they thought, we have Patrick Mahomes, and we have Travis Kelce, and we have a great defense, so we're just going to do our thing, and things are going to work out well. They didn't. And
how about this? Let me try this theory on for you. How much, because of how complex things are, and I do think things are, everything gets more complex because everything builds upon what's come before. Right,
and there's just more tools that you can use.
Well, and you have more time because they won't let you go practice for 3 hours and beat the hell out of the players on, trying to.
And you really don't need the time as much. I mean, you could put stuff into the. I'm just dabbling AI. I have no idea. AI to me is like, I'm in the dial-up stage of AI.
Good. Let's talk about it then. You're the perfect guy.
No, but what I'm saying is that there's people that are there that, I mean, their whole world is taking these statistics and taking these film and taking all the information and being able to disseminate it through AI, whatever they're doing. And, I mean, it's just unbelievable, all the information that is
I agree.
being put together so quickly that would have took
here's what I'm asking.
Months to do. Maybe it takes weeks now.
That's a great point because what you just said there might be part of the answer to what I'm going to ask you. And that is, because maybe it is through either hiring other people, through AI, through different analytics, through whatever it is, a better, film provider, whatever it is. Is it possible that Andy Reid puts everything in? Like I always felt like a big part of Andy Reid's success, beyond the obvious,
I know
Patrick
exactly
Mahomes,
where you're going,
was his off season.
Yeah,
he went to work right away. He rebuilt everything. He checked all the films. He studied all his opponents. He had it all. He began to put all the game plans in for every single opponent he was going to have. Game 1 against the team he was going to play twice, and game 2 against. And he's got a skeleton, and nobody hit training camp with more done than Andy Reid.
I agree.
Okay, and I think that's part of what he does. But I also wonder if he does all that and there's no way to turn the wheel. That, like, once he sets sail, because there's so much that's put into it and it all builds upon each other, and week 6 is based upon what we put on tape on 5, which was based on what we put on tape on 4. And if you get to week 4 or 5 or 6, you're like, this really isn't working, it's too late. Like, we've left, we're gone. We're past. You're a plane that's got an engine problem, but you're more than halfway across the Pacific. You got no choice but to keep going.
Right.
Are we at that point that was maybe why he didn't, get under center? Because he would sit in press conferences and claim, well, we have those plays. Well, how about you run them?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we always talked about with Andy Reid, and I still think he's a brilliant mind when it comes to offense, but I think teams and coaches and organizations have caught up because of the opportunity to use the tools that we talked about, the analytics and AI, that they can make those adjustments just as fast as Andy Reid used to be able to do it on his own. We used to talk about one of the greatest things that Andy Reid was able to do is make game time adjustments. But that's kind of gone to the wayside. Would you agree with that? I don't think he makes as many great
that
game
you
time.
Can't do it, or he's just not doing it as well.
I don't think he can do it as well as he used to, and I think one of the reasons why is because there's just so much information and so many different tools that teams have at their disposal that they can get to quickly, that making these game time adjustments that he was making maybe back in the mid-2000s or the early 2000s with the Eagles, maybe teams have caught up with him, and he's got to make that adjustment if he's to counteract the adjustment that teams have made against him. Listen, the Kansas City Chiefs, teams in the AFC West for the last 15 years have been reacting. It's been a reactive draft to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and they've been able to bring in people. Now the Chiefs have to, and also bring in coaches and bring in ways to counteract what the Chiefs are doing. Now the Chiefs have to adjust to that, and we'll see if Andy Reid and this staff can do that.
The guy who calls in the play has to be on the sideline, right? When you watch a Rams game, Sean McVay has the walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
He calls the play into Matt Stafford. You watch a Chiefs game, the walkie-talkie's in the hands of the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
That is time. You now have to call the play. The Rams call the play twice. McVay calls it to Stafford. Stafford calls it to the team. The Chiefs have to call it 3 times.
Right.
McVay
It's very true.
Was also credited with the early returns on Jared Goff at the Rams. Now, he's obviously proven he's beyond this, or they're doing the same thing with the Lions. I don't think it's the case. I think he's grown. But early on in his time with the Lions, He got him out of the huddle as quick as he could, and he was looking at the defense, and he was giving clues to Jared Goff before the mic shut off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Andy Reid is
definitely
not.
happened.
The
No, it's
Chiefs are
not.
not doing that when
They're
you have
not
to
doing
read
it.
the play an actual third time. And I think part of the reason why he did it, and he's been doing it that way the whole time, but part of it was it
Did
seemed
he
like
do it with Bieniemy?
yeah,
Okay. So what about Nagy?
yeah.
I thought that maybe Nagy.
Well, there's always this. There's this.
Yeah.
When it comes time for a guy to go get his next job, it always surfaces at the end that he's calling the plays.
Yeah.
I don't buy it for a second. But my understanding is that he says that publicly to help get them jobs. But he also puts them on the mic, I'm assuming, to help get them jobs. Why wouldn't you talk directly to Pat? Unless you're trying to help out your assistant coaches, which is a wonderful human quality. It makes him a better human being.
But
it does not make your offense more efficient. And I think it's possible that, to your point, his creativity and his genius was so far ahead that he could put a 5-mile-per-hour parachute out the back end of his car and still win the race. Well, guess what? He can't now.
Right.
And so that's why I think part of this offseason needed to be figuring out what everybody else was doing. But literally, what and everything that everybody else is doing. One of them is they do not call the play 3 times every time. They call it twice.
And for everybody out there, you made a really good point about calling it twice and being able to have just a little bit of time to give that extra nugget to the quarterback. If you're the offensive coordinator or the head coach and you're calling the plays, and like you said, it's not going from one guy to the next guy to the quarterback, it's just going right to the quarterback. Now you could say, hey, that corner is playing inside. Look for this coverage. Or, I mean, you could help him out. And you could give him another set of eyes to help him out with some information that you just don't have time to do if it's going to go from the head coach to the coordinator to the quarterback. And I think that's a great point, and I think that's something the Kansas City Chiefs should evaluate and take a look at and maybe implement. Is now, and he could say, hey, they're going to rotate to cover 3 here. They're rotating to cover 3, and then it shuts off. But that's in Pat's mind. That helps him with that read when maybe he was looking at something else. He's got a lot to look at. First thing he walks out, he's looking at the coverage, and then he's looking at First thing he's looking at, hey, we got to call the protection.
Yeah.
And then the next thing he's doing is he's going to look at the coverage, and then he's got to disseminate and evaluate whether there's a blitz coming. That's a lot to do. If you can give him one less step, that takes a little bit off his plate and takes a little bit of hesitation away. And like we talk about all the time, hesitation kills in the NFL.
Yeah, and if you could just give him 5 more seconds to look at what he's looking at.
Yes, and just a tidbit of something that he doesn't have to worry about. Maybe you have maybe McVay just says, hey, okay, here's the coverage. Now he doesn't have to do that because the first thing you got to do is you got to look, okay, here's our protection, right? And then you have to go to, am I going to audible? And then you're going to go to, all those different steps you got to go through. Take one away. Help them out.
The 23 season, their last championship, they were mired in mediocrity and the offense didn't look good. And they did 2 things. One, they quit throwing the ball to Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore and said, we have Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce, and we are throwing the ball to these 2 guys. And 2, they got their ass out of the huddle quicker. Matt Nagy even talked about it. Or was Nagy there for that one? Or was it Bieniemy still? I can't remember where it was.
I can't remember.
But it was one of the things that was discussed was that we got to get out of the huddle. We're not, and they were coming down, and it felt to me like always. I would talk a lot about. I don't know why it was, but the Alex Smith era was constantly snapping the ball with 1 or 2 seconds. Now, part of my theory was that they looked at it and said, "We're pretty good, but we're not great, and we don't want to play more snaps." Right? When you have Patrick Mahomes in the 18 offense, you want to play as many snaps as possible. The more times we snap it, the better chance we have to be. And maybe that was part of it this year, but they were slow on getting out and getting up there. And I just, whether that's an indecision, a hesitation to your point about which player are we going to call, is Andy second guessing, I could go here, I could go there, where before, as the play is wrapping up, he's already down at the play card and already knows I'm going to right here, and boom, now it's going. And if he's waiting 2 seconds to look through, and I don't want that one, I don't want that one, I don't want that one, okay, it's this one. That's 3 seconds now we're into the play clock. and we got to send it to Nagy, and Nagy's got to call it, and now Pat's got to call it, and now we want to do all these.
And then and now he's got to look at the defense, and he's got to evaluate what he's going to do with the mind of what the play is. That's a lot to do in a matter of.
Can a 67-year-old head coach tell if he's now taking, a play that required him, like his time from, whenever the play clock started. Forget about that. He might be eyes on the sheet as his ball carrier is fighting for the ball. He's already looking down to where he is. We're third and medium, and we're at this point on the field. So I'm over to this point on the card, and now the guy's brought down. Whatever it is he? Can you be in tune at 67 years old to know that it was taking you were done calling the play to your offensive coordinator, 6 seconds after the ball was spotted, but not even when the play clock started, and now you're at 9?
No, I don't think he's comfortable.
I don't think you
with it.
could know that. I think somebody else has to be like,
Absolutely.
Andy, you're taking longer to spit the play out.
And the other thing is, too, maybe he's just not comfortable with looking up after and giving Patrick, saying, being able to see the coverage and do those things. Maybe that's something that he's so used to breaking down and doing his pre-game work assignments and having watching film. And, Andy Reid gets there at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and he's there. I mean, he's there. He's a grinder. He spends a lot of time. Maybe he's not as comfortable as some of these younger coaches are of looking and saying, hey, giving him a tidbit about coverage, or giving him a tidbit about what blitz is coming, or giving him a tidbit about, hey, look for this, look slant. Maybe he's just not comfortable with that. Maybe that's something that's not in his repertoire. He didn't need that before. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. I am not saying that Andy Reid is antiquated at all. I think Andy Reid is still a great coach. I think he still has a lot of coaching left in him. But if he's not comfortable with it, give it to somebody. Give it to a Bieniemy. Bieniemy's job after the play is called from Andy Reid to Patrick Mahomes. Now Bieniemy's job is to say, hey, watch for this, or this is happening, or look for this. And maybe because, believe me, a lot of these younger coaches, that's what they're doing. I don't care what level they're high school.
Andy doesn't have the walkie-talkie, so it is their job. I mean, maybe that's my point is like, Andy, if he sees something, he's got to say, Eric, this and this and this, and then Eric's got to go. It's another relay.
Yeah.
Like if you're the guy, cut out the middleman.
Right.
I've never understood that, but when they win, who am I to bitch?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I don't get what saying it another time gains you.
But
that's all they're doing.
But it comes down to our original point. You can't put yourself in tough situations on third down and long in the NFL anymore. I don't know what the statistics say about conversion in those situations nowadays, whether it's much harder to convert third down and long. It used to be maybe 20 years ago. I don't know. But the reality is that you have to make those adjustments a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, and give the players on the field an opportunity to have the success with using their eyes and boy, they all have iPads. We didn't have iPads. There was no such thing as an iPad. We'd have to go over to the stadium and go into the basement of the stadium and put on the projector and watch. And I mean projector. My first 2 years, we had a projector. Okay, and then you went to the VCR tape, all right? So you put on the projector and watch it. And we also had the overhead. What do they call those? Remember
the overhead projector?
The overhead projector, and they would slap down, a piece of plastic and draw on it. That's how we got the information. So, yeah, I mean, things have changed so much, and it's so fast, and you got to adjust with that. And I think the Kansas City Chiefs can do it. I think they have to do it in order to get to where they want to go again.
Tim Grunhard's with us. He's brought to you by our friends at the Plumbing Pro. The one to know is the Plumbing Pro. No matter what your plumbing problem might be, no matter how big it is, the Plumbing Pro has got you covered. They've been serving Kansas City since 1980. Coach Steve and his crew are happy to help you out the way they help Grunny out, the way they help me out. They handle complete plumbing service, sewer, septic, drain installation, repair. The guys at the Plumbing Pro, they know what they're doing. Go to theplumbingpro.com today. You listen to the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Petro, Grunhard, no Seabolt. Now, man can't work a full week. Kyle Collier's running the operation today. Tim Grunhard, always brought to you by our friends at the Plumbing Pro. Tim, the one to know
is the Plumbing Pro.
That's right. Don't waste your whole weekend going back and forth to the hardware store like I did. I eventually got it done, but oh my God, that was a disaster. The Plumbing Pro, the one to know. Locally owned and operated since 1980. Call 816-763-8200. Have to win the opening Monday night game?
Yep, big, huge game. Like you said, we were talking about they'll have 9 games on the road after that game. Yeah. A big game. I don't know if Patrick Mahomes is going to be back. All indications are he's going to be back, but huge OTAs, huge mini camp for everybody else other than Patrick Mahomes. Anybody who says Patrick Mahomes is going to be practicing in OTAs and a minicamp is misinformed. That's not going to happen. You're not going to see him on the field doing anything until at least the second or third week of training camp.
Now, there's some people taking Andy Reid's comments completely out of context.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I mean,
that's not happening.
Why would you?
That would be malpractice.
Yeah,
somebody needs to get fired if he's on the field.
Tim, you're the man.
Thanks,
we appreciate it. Thanks for coming. Go have you a Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Roll!
All right, who was the last pitcher to post a sub-2 ERA in 3 consecutive 20-plus start seasons? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Fourth quarter of the program begins right now as we finish strong here on a Wednesday. Petro, Collier, no Seabolt. He'll be back tomorrow. Got a side gig. Well, side hustle out of the big boy, which, as we know, Kyle, would be what?
I don't know. Lead.
That's right. The only hustle you're ever going to see out of the man. The side hustle. That's not fair. That's a low blow for a man who can't defend himself.
He's got a lot of different side hustles.
He's got a lot of hustle in him. It's just not the kind like involves moving.
Right.
You know, he hustles in his work. But, you know, I'm not going to not fire just because he's not here.
That's the best time, too. Let it fly.
That's right. Someone goes, oh, yeah, you won't say anything when he's around. Sure I will.
Yeah.
You not listening to the show? One of these days he's going to reach across. He'll have to catch me. And that's a sad state when you can't catch me.
I can't imagine him reaching across that table.
So it's like that. I'm free. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm good. Settle down, big boy. His hope would be to throw himself in front of the door so I couldn't get out.
Right.
Which may happen one day. You don't know. We'll see. We got a lot coming your way still in the fourth quarter of the program. Tim Fitzgerald. We have not talked. We're looking forward to hopefully catching up with both of the K-State coaches. Two new coaches. We're going to talk to Tim Fitzgerald about how that is going, what the expectations are. So that's still to come here in the 5 o'clock hour. Right now, though, let's get you the things that you just flat out need to know. Our need to know is brought to you by our friends at La Feta Italian Delicatessen, Kansas City's best when it comes to catering your party. If you want the best sandwiches in town, go to LaFetaDeli.com. Give them 24 to 48 hours for the catering if you want the best in town. Right now, just get to 143rd and Metcalf. They're in the southeast corner. It is the freshest sandwich you're going to get. The bread made fresh that day, the meats, the cheeses, the sauces, all the best, and they are gourmet sandwiches. Everybody's raving about La Feta. Get over there if you haven't tried it. You need to get there. LaFetaDeli.com. Voted the number 2 new restaurant in Kansas City by the Star, and very soon coming to you folks in the Corinth area. You listen and passing. I know that's not far from you. You can roll right over there. Jeff doesn't like to leave his house. The paparazzi, the autograph seekers. He wants something close. So our buddy Adam over at La Feta said, all right, passing. We weren't planning on doing this, but we're going to go second location in the Corinth shops. All for you, Jeff.
And this is shortly after they opened, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the demand that they have had. So it's truly a great American success story is what it is. I think Netflix is going to do a 4-part miniseries on La Feta. I'd watch. But, you know, it's up to you. You could skip the miniseries and just get the sandwich, but it's a great sandwich.
Or it's a great sandwich to have while watching the miniseries.
Yeah, get you a Beach Boy, get you maybe the Boss. What's Curtis's favorite? Queen?
He goes for the Queen. I like the Queen as well.
Yeah.
It's really good.
The Queen is good. What did I have? We did the spread, we did Beach Boy, Queen, the Boss, and what was the fourth one?
I'm not sure, but I know I tried all of them.
I know. So I remember it was like, all right, which one have I had? Which one have I not had? And then some fool pulled the little like golf flag. I mean, it's like a toothpick, like a long.
Oh yeah.
That had the flag on which section of the tray was which sandwiches. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was Dravetta. Jackass threw it in the trash. I'm like, now people don't know. Everyone's trying to have a little bit of each. It's like, oh, my bad.
Dravetta shots might be my favorite.
Yes. He really is nowhere to be found. The best would be one day if we take some shots and here he comes walking down the hall. Didn't ever took my key pass. Kick your ass now. All right, let's get to some things you need to know. Already handled that by La Feta. Let's start with a little Darren Peterson. We always like to hear from Darren Peterson, don't we? We've got some really interesting stuff from him since he left Kansas. Darren Peterson was asked if he can get back to his explosive level of play that many saw from him back in his high school days.
Yeah, I'm probably back at that level now. Obviously, I wasn't where I wanted to be, just what I had going on, but I feel like I'm back at it now.
What's the difference of being able to get back at it? Like, what's changed for you?
Figuring out what it was, and that kind of helped my mental as well, because when something's wrong, you don't know what it is. It can be rough, so helped my mental figuring out what it was, and then now just getting back to it, feeling good.
I mean, I've never experienced anything he's like what he's experienced. I don't know. So I don't want to question what it is. You know, I know the phenomenon from what I've read, what I heard, is a phenomenon that bodybuilders will experience because bodybuilders do all this lifting and they get all this muscle mass, but then they want to cut weight and they want to cut water weight. They really want the striation in the muscle, and they want everything as defined as possible, look as vascular, as veiny as possible. And so they walk a dangerous tightrope of being as big as they can possibly be, as lean as they can possibly be. And it gets dangerous when they start cutting the water, and they will be a full body. There are a number of different bodybuilders that'll tell you about the time that they literally on stage just locked up, just seized, and a full body cramp. And I'm assuming it's something along those lines with Darren Peterson. Or it's complete load of crap, and he's read stories about that kind of thing. Like, well, maybe that could have been it. I don't know. I don't have any idea. But, you know, he's at least answering questions about it. I will give him that. I mean, I don't buy the science does not back up what he's saying. But, you know, I don't know if that matters anymore. And two, I will say that at least he's answering the questions, and he was like, oh, you can't go near him. Put some police tape around him. What it was like on campus. Was he ever on campus? Or do they take everything online now?
That's a great question. I have no idea.
Hey, DP, you gonna play? Hey, DP, I got my new betting app. Should I take you for the over on 4 minutes? What do you think?
I can't imagine you'd see him walking down Jayhawk Boulevard between classes. I mean, I used to when I was there. I saw Svi. I saw Devontae a couple times, right? But, you know, those guys were there for all 4 years.
Yeah. I hear more and more, like, all their stuff is online stuff. So, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't really care. But I will say he is at least talking about it. Which, if he wasn't talking about it, you're smack dab in, like, Ben Simmons country. You know, like, he's still an odd duck. I guess if I'm Utah and I'm like, listen, the only guy out of all these guys that fits, because that's what I hear. That's what Gary Parrish said. Or no, when Parrish was
it Schiffer?
Yeah, Schiffman yesterday is like, if anybody but Utah got 2, I would say somebody else would go 2. If I'm Utah, I trade 2 then. Trade down to 4, trade to 5, trade wherever it is. I mean, get out of there. Because I do not think you want to put what is hopefully the last time you're picking this high all on Darren Peterson.
That's a lot of question marks.
Yeah. Again, at least he's talking about it. We'll find out. NBA draft coming up in June. The combine where everybody gets measured. That's where that sound came from, right?
Yeah.
He came in at 6'4.5" barefoot with a wingspan of over 6'9", just under 6'10", 6'9" and change.
6'9.75.
And then his standing reach was over 8 feet, right?
8'7".
Yeah, 8'7". So that was really good. So he presents pretty good length, and then all the skills that he at times demonstrated at Kansas. He's still a tremendous prospect.
Yeah. The measurements, by the way, almost identical to Devin Booker. Booker a little bit heavier, 5 pounds heavier, 199 pounds versus 206.
And they run Devin Booker at the point, which I think is a problem in Phoenix. But Devin Booker certainly showed a better true shot.
Yeah, in college.
At Kentucky. Sure. He wasn't leaned on to do as much. Like, there were some people surprised with how early Devin Booker went. But I think that's part of the reason why more was given to Darren Peterson's now. They're like, well, wait a minute. If he was, you know, what was Devin Booker, like 4th, 5th pick in the draft? If he goes that high, why the hell weren't we giving him the ball more? Why weren't we giving more minutes to the kid? But he seemed like a better pure shooter.
Booker went 13th.
He went that low?
Yeah.
Who went in front of him? Who was 1 through 12? If you AI'd it, I can get it. Man, 12 guys went in front of Devin Booker? And that speaks, I mean, his college career wasn't that insane. 13th pick in the 15 draft, which went...
That was the Karl Anthony Towns #1 overall pick year.
Cat, because he was on his team with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cat won. D'Angelo Russell. As a Laker fan, I'm trying to hold down my lunch here. Jahlil Okafor. Oh, Lord, Philly. That's part of... People are like, oh, Philadelphia, the tanking. You got to take the right guy. They take Devin Booker instead of Jahlil Okafor. How good does it look? Knicks, Kristaps Porzingis. Orlando, Mario Hezonja. Willie Cauley-Stein, local kid, but still shouldn't have gone in front of Devin Booker. At 6, Emmanuel Mudiay.
Mudiay.
Yeah, Mudiay. Stanley Johnson, remember him from Arizona? Frank Kaminsky.
I love that.
Guy who looked like, a refrigerator repairman. More likely to have plumber's butt than be an NBA star. Went 9 to Charlotte. That's why Jordan sold the team. He just didn't get it on this part of it. Justice Winslow, 10 to Miami. Miles Turner was pretty good, 11 to the Pacers. Trey Lyles to Utah at 12, and then Devin Booker. He
had 4 of his own teammates taken before him.
Yeah. Literally everybody chose wrong except Minnesota. And you can make a case that they did too with Karl Anthony Towns. Wow. All right, so Darren Peterson comp there for Devin Booker. I'll listen to that. We'll see if he can do it. NBA action tonight, Cavaliers at Pistons. Are we 3-2 in that? Or
No,
2-2?
that's tied up.
It is 2-2? 2-2, Pistons -4.5, 7 o'clock on ESPN for that. By the way, your hockey tonight, Avalanche and Wild. The Avs looking to close things out. They're up 3-1. That's 7-10 on TNT. And if the basketball game will cooperate early, you can watch Charles Barkley do postgame while watching the hockey, especially if we get overtime hockey. I think it is quite entertaining to hear Charles trying to break something down and then go, ooh! As they got a TV set up for him to watch the hockey playoffs while he's doing postgame for the NBA playoffs. I like it. I'll take it. Royals back at it with the White Sox. We talked to Ryan Lefevre earlier today. If you missed that, it's on the podcast at 810WHB.com. Even easier if you got that 810 app. He was in the 2 o'clock hour number 1 of the podcast. Royals at White Sox. KC -112. White Sox -104. 640 on Royals TV. Seth Lugo versus Noah Schultz. Don't mind that they've lost back-to-backs, but it needs to end now. This needs to be where it stops, and they get things going in the right direction. The Green Bay Packers will visit the Rams in the NFL's first Thanksgiving Eve game. Wednesday night, November 25th, 8 p.m. It's on Netflix.
Netflix gets 5 games this year.
Yeah, they got a bunch of games. By the way, will the Call Your Family be huddled around the TV watching Packers-Rams?
Not likely, no.
No?
No.
What's the Thanksgiving Eve plan for you? Most people, it's an extra Friday night.
Yeah.
They hit the bars.
Yeah.
It's a big boozing it up. Or eating your edibles or whatever you people do out there.
And I've participated in going out for those. But, not so much anymore. Probably just, I don't know, we'll find a movie, do something like that.
Really? It is family time?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's in town, so yeah.
Okay. I think we oftentimes are hosting a dinner at our house for the family.
On Thanksgiving Eve?
Huh?
Okay.
We always do. I think we do that. There's the big Thanksgiving meal. We're not up for that. We get that covered elsewhere. And so, but Wednesday night and then like the Friday night or Saturday night will be a thing. So, it'll be on. It'll be on at my house. It was also announced Wednesday that Netflix will air the NFL Honors Show. Do you watch the NFL Honors?
No.
I don't either. So you can put it wherever you want. I can not watch it wherever you want to put it. I'll look at a couple things here and there, but no. Netflix will also televise Week 1 between the 49ers and Rams. That's going to be played in Melbourne, Australia. It airs Thursday night, September 10th in the U.S., but actually takes place on Friday morning in Melbourne. Now, so then the opening game is going to be on a Wednesday now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go Wednesday, Thursday, and no Friday? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Is that because of the screwy time with Melbourne? Or is that because they're getting out of the way of Friday? Because the last couple of years, it's been opener on Thursday. For years now, it's been the opener on Thursday with the Super Bowl champ. And then last couple of years, we've had Friday as the Euro. Why are we not doing Friday? We got another game on Friday.
I don't know. Maybe there's another game.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Be announced.
We'll find out. We had 3 of the international games: Niners, Rams, Ravens, Cowboys, and Bengals, Falcons. That was out yesterday. Today we got more of the rest of the international slate. Colts and Commanders in London, Eagles, Jags in London, Texans, Jags in London, Steelers, Saints in the first ever game in Paris, Pats and Lions in Munich, and finally the Vikings and 49ers in Mexico City. So other than the Mexico City, just already right now, they're making it really hard to not get guys on the Euro game teams so you don't forget to start them because you're still laying in bed hungover when it kicks at 9. So rise and shine, people. Week 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Get up. Mexico City, I guess, will run, at a normal time.
How about the Steelers playing that first game in Paris, and Will Howard. It's going to be the Will Howard show in France. Or Aaron Rodgers. We'll see what happens.
Or the remains of Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, putting their best foot forward there. Okay. So we got that going for us. New York Giants wide receiver Malik Neighbors underwent a second surgery on his knee to remove scar tissue. It's causing stiffness, according to league sources. The second surgery took place multiple weeks ago and was described as a cleanup. Where are you at on Malik Neighbors for fantasy football? You out with a second surgery?
No, he's still a top 10 pick.
Really?
Yeah. In standard redrafts, yeah.
It makes me nervous.
Just cleaning things up.
It's a little cleanup.
Yeah. You heard Grunny had like 7 of them.
Yeah, it makes me a little bit nervous. Yankees had Max Fried pulled from his start after 3 innings, a 7-0 loss to Baltimore. The 3-time All-Star now expected to be scanned and be examined tomorrow by team physician Dr. Christopher Ahmad in New York. Elbow soreness.
For the guy they gave 7 years, $200+ million to last year.
Yeah.
At 31 years old.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. All right, let's take a break. We're going to talk some K-State athletics. Our buddy Tim Fitzgerald from Go Power Cat joins us next here in the program.
The program with Soren Petro.
One take wonder.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Look, I don't know about you, but I don't need any more hassles in my life. I need people that help me out. That's one of the reasons why I go to Roberts Robinson Chevrolet GMC. Listen, they understand that your time is important. Your peace of mind is important. That's why they have the easiest, friendliest staff you're going to find anywhere around. Knowledgeable as well. That really helps to make the process easy. You need someone who knows about the cars that they're selling you, that knows about how to fix the cars. You know, they've got Mastercraft and even world-class technicians when it comes to the service department. We're talking about the best in the business. Mike Robinson and his staff are experts at everything in the car buying experience, and they stand behind that car even after you drive off the lot. That's how you get great service like I got just this past week. That's right, we had a busted windshield. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know how that works. My daughter's car had a busted windshield, and we needed to get it fixed. Roberts Robinson brought down a loaner car that we drove over the weekend. They took that car up, and they fixed that window and brought it back. Our life was absolutely not interrupted at all. They couldn't have made it easier. Go to robertsrobinson.com. See why. They just make it so easy. And take advantage of the great deals on the trucks. If you're in the market for a Silverado, Sierra, Colorado, if your truck is your office, you need to get to Roberts Robinson right now. The best selection on the best vehicles with the best trade-in value you're going to find, and nobody matches their customer service. It's at Roberts Robinson. Go online right now to robertsrobinson.com. Find out for yourself how they just make it easy at Roberts Robinson Chevrolet GMC.
The world is coming to Kansas City, and Rally House is your soccer headquarters. With 16 locations across the KC Metro, they've got the largest selection of officially licensed World Cup gear, KC host city merch, and national team jerseys for every fan. Whether you're cheering for the USA, Argentina, or another federation, they've got you covered. And while you're at it, check out the latest episode of the Crossroads Soccer Show with Matt Beasler and Nate Bukaty. Shop the winning lineup at Rally House today.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Fred Ramsey.
Let's talk some K-State athletics, I'll say, because we're going to talk a little basketball and football. Tim Fitzgerald with us here in the program. We talk K-State, courtesy of our friends at Big O Tires, the team you trust. 13 area locations around the metro. Big O Tires has got you covered. They'll even provide a shuttle, drop you off, pick you up. Right now, take advantage. Now through May 24th, get $80 to $120 of instant savings on select sets of tires. Plus, Big O Tires offers expert service on oil change, alignments, and much more, all with convenient financing options available. It's at Big O Tires. Book online right now at BigOTires.com. Let's welcome Tim Fitzgerald. Tim, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm going to, I just listened to commercials, and I think I'm going to just start doing something. Everywhere I go, I'm going to say, Stephen St. John sent me. They don't get discounts everywhere. I don't know.
Well,
But
Steven's got a lot of them, for sure. There's no doubt. And I like to go, and I like to go to Schlotsky's and go, Stephen St. John sent me. And they send me out with like 3 sandwiches. That's not true. I don't want somebody to go into Schlotsky's and be like, oh, I get 3, but they are huge fans as well. So, yeah, I think it's a good plan. I think it's a good plan. All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the K-State Wildcats. 2 new coaches. Where do we sit as far as, or what are you hearing? I don't know. I'm not hearing anything. What are you hearing as far as how the early returns are going? Let's start basketball, and we'll make our way to football because they're basically, like a lot of teams, this isn't that unique anymore, turning over the entire roster. What do we think of how the roster construction has gone for Alexander so far?
I don't know. Honestly, his approach is so foreign to what we've been seeing at Kansas State, and it's foreign to what a lot of schools are doing in this environment of NIL and the portal. He brought in a lot of guys with upside. Mostly haven't reached that. So does that mean he's made his living on coaching players up and developing them into power level players out of Belmont or Lipscomb, wherever he was coaching? Now he's at the power level. Can he coach them up pretty quickly and get them there? It's a big question. I'm not sure, but I know this. What they did last time with paying players and just throwing money around, that didn't work. It didn't work. Maybe that does work other places, but it didn't work with the group that was at Kansas State. It's a different approach, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I do think that one theme that's there is he's getting shooting. Do you agree with that, that they're going to let the 3 fly?
Yeah, that's exactly what his system is, from kind of researching it. I think they play a lot like what Illinois does, which means shoot a lot of threes. You're either shooting threes or you're around the rim shooting. You're trying not to take mid-range jumpers. It's the NBA thing. It's moving to college athletics, and I'm not sure I really like that brand of basketball that much, but it's a winning brand of basketball currently. So if they can do that and defend at a high enough level, I think they're going to be okay. But again, it just comes down to score more points, and I'm not sure what this roster is going to be able to do.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. It's interesting. So, like, if you're analytically driven, and it sounds like basically, and looking at what he did at his last stop, that he is, and you're on the threes and dunks trail, then I'm wondering what the analytics says about caps, salary caps, and how you spend it, right? I mean, I guess if you have a Michael Jordan, he's kind of like a quarterback as far as, taking up a huge chunk of your cap. But the thing that I think is interesting and where I think he, I always like to look and be like, okay, smart guy, got the job for a reason, clearly impressed in the interview. So what did he tell him his vision was, and how did he say we'd get there? Like, I know K-State spent a lot of money, but, and I don't know, we don't know how much we can count on the figures that we hear being thrown around. Where do you think they are? Like, Kentucky was at 22 to 24 million last year. Those are the reports. Where do you think K-State was on the payroll last year?
I would imagine 15-ish. I'm not sure. Okay. They were up there. I mean, they were throwing it around. Maybe it was lower than that, but it's you can't buy parts if they don't fit together.
Exactly.
They bought some great parts, but they couldn't put it together into anything, and that comes down to coaching.
Yeah, no, I get it. They bought some neat slide up doors to put on a pickup truck. It doesn't really work. I get what you're saying on that, but I'm curious. Just first before I go to the next step, do we think that the dollars are going to be about the same, or was part of the attraction that he sold the fact that he could do it with less?
Well, I think they made it clear that a lot of the money would be moving over to football. Jerome Tang burned some donors.
Right.
He did. He convinced them that he had this. It was all under control, and it wasn't. And I think they've backed up a little bit, which I don't blame them. I'm surprised they kept giving money for a 4th year, but they did. I think some of that's gone to football now. It's Collins Line, man. The son has come home to run the ranch, and money's going over there. There's still money going to college basketball at Kansas State, but it's not what it was. And Casey Alexander knew that coming in, and was not threatened by that. But the good news is if he shows he can do something with little, he's going to give more. Those people will start stepping back up because they weren't just giving because of Jerome Tang. There's a generation, basically my age and older, and we're dying off, that want to get back to when K-State basketball was great. And they want to do it before they're gone. And that's what that was all about. And if Casey Alexander shows that he has the stuff to win, they'll start giving him money to go do so and hopefully rekindle things.
Yeah, so that makes perfect sense because here's my theory. Like everyone, you spend this money, and I think people are spending money with the idea that they're building something beyond this next year. And, not with a A.J. DeBanza or a Darren Peterson. I mean, they're the handful of guys that are one-year guys. And, of course, if you're signing a senior or a guy who's out of eligibility, I know he's not going to be back. But there's this mindset of that, like, you're building a team, right? And so I want this piece, and if I got to pay more to go get that, okay. When in reality, I wonder if the best plan isn't, everyone's going to get, let's say 10 to 12 guys, 10 to 15 if you're a new coach, 10 to 15 guys. Why not? And you've got $15 million. Why not get 15 $1 million players? Because you're likely to bomb on 5 be right what you think they are, and 5 exceed expectations. So instead of putting all your money, like Darren Peterson was a bust, right? Like they'd have been better off in reports were $3 million. They'd have been better off with 3 $1 million players. Well, why not just go get a bunch of good players, knowing that, hey, out of that we'll have, we've got two wings, 2 power forwards, 2 centers, or 4 posts, however you want to play, a couple of points, a couple of lead guards, and out of there we'll figure it out once they get here, because worrying about what it's going to be like years from now is irrelevant, and thinking that we can tell. Like, I get it if you're going to go pay top dollar to steal a guy who was 15-9 last year at Tennessee. Okay, you know what you're getting, right? But that ain't even it. Even that the Tennessee big that went to Michigan was like 10-7 last year at Tennessee, and he was one of the top bigs. Flory Badunga was what, like 13-8. Like there ain't even. It's not like you're getting 20-10 from these guys. So why not just go spread the money around and throw numbers at it? And, hope that 5 of the guys exceed expectations. 5 of them hit the expectations. The other 5 sit and watch, because somebody's going to watch anyway. So why not just spread it all around and see if you can't? It's more like fishing now than it is shopping.
You're right. Because there isn't that much playing difference between most guys in the portal that, like Flory's numbers. Would I want him? Yeah. Would I want him for that price? Probably not. I might go get someone that's 10-6, as you said, who's going to get far less money, and probably the gap between production and the money won't add up. Production will be fairly close, money not, and I think that's what K-State's being asked to do. But I think Casey Alexander wants to go find the guys, develop the guys, pay them at that point to stay, and limit the number of guys he's got to bring in every year through the portal, and probably not go find, that really expensive piece unless there's a special circumstance. Maybe they've got all the pieces, but they just need, the power forward that's really good, and someone says, let's go get that guy. I don't know, but I think he's going to just start constructing from the ground up, coaching, developing, and worry about the money later.
He hit the ground running incredibly fast. Listen, if they suck, we're going to be like, well, he just was taking anybody. Like, I don't know what it was. but if he doesn't, we're going to look back and be like, man, this guy had a plan and he executed it immediately. I kind of lean towards that as fast as he was signing players, there was a plan and a direction on where he was going. Is that just me being optimistic, or do you think that's a fair assessment?
I think it's very fair. And a great majority of them, or number of them, were players he's familiar with, either from the Missouri Valley, they played him, or he recruited them elsewhere. They ended up at Colorado State or wherever. So he knew a lot of these guys, had existing relationships, and then brought them in here. We'll see if it works. I mean, I honestly don't know. People keep asking me, are they going to be good? And I'm like, they could be pretty good, or they could be absolutely awful. It just doesn't come together. They're not ready. They don't develop quick enough. And basically you're playing a junior varsity in a very, high varsity league. But I don't see that happening. This guy can not only X and O, he knows how to coach in practice, which honestly, bluntly, has not happened much in Manhattan over the last 4 years.
We're talking to the always shy Tim Fitzgerald here in the program, publisher at GoPowerCat.com. So what would be considered a success in this first year for him?
Yeah, I think most people are going to say NCAA tournament. I'm a little more patient. I guess I'm older. From a different era where coaches got 3-5 years or something. I think if he shows an upward trajectory with the far less resources, I think most fans will be happy. And I've said this before. It wasn't just the losing that turned fans off with these teams. It was the lack of heart, the lack of getting on the floor and outworking your competition. To be a lesser team that gets outworked is not the K-State way. It never has been and never can be. It's not how you succeed at Kansas State. You do all the little things you need to do, and you get a bunch of floor burns and bloody noses, and you try to win games. And fans couldn't stand what they were seeing. They weren't playing very hard. They certainly weren't proud to represent the school, and the fans just walked away. If he can show that these guys care, these guys are going to bust ass, they're going to play hard, be prepared, even if they're a little bit undergunned and don't win, fans will be there. They'll show up. Maybe not in huge numbers, but better than what we've seen.
Certainly the losing drives people away. There's no doubt about that. But but it is harder to get them back, though, when it's like, I don't know any of these guys.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And in this environment, if you're going to have a bunch of portal guys, you better be fun and good. They'll buy in at that point. If you're not, they're just going to be abandoning you because they don't really have any connection to the team. They don't know the players. They're not invested emotionally. And that's another upside to what his plan is. His plan is to try to build a program where players aren't leaving. You're not signing 12 new guys a year. You're signing 4, plus your recruits, And by the way, K-State fans just found out you can recruit players out of high school and add them to your roster. It's something new, I think. So we've seen him do that with 2 players he had signed for Belmont. But because so few kids are getting actual power level scholarships now, there's pretty darn good talent going to the Valley and other places to be developed, to be stolen through the portal later on. And I think he just wants to skip the middle step and bring them in right away.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good point. I mean, they're not getting the offers that they were getting. So, yeah, that's a great point. We're talking with Tim Fitzgerald here on the program. Colin Klein, what's your feel on how it's going so far?
Soren, nobody warned me he'd be this much like Bill Snyder. I feel we learned almost nothing out of spring football. The submarine went under. We have no idea where it was. They did a bunch of stuff and came back up and said practice is over. I don't know. He's got a pretty tight ship going. To see him at practice the few times we got to go it's pretty interesting. I've been telling people when this all started to happen, when I started to suspect Chris Kleiman might walk away. People were saying, Colin. I was like, is he ready? He's young. Is he ready to do this? I couldn't have been more wrong about something. I'm getting pretty good at being wrong. I'm really good at it. I was wrong on that. In watching him and hearing how he's functioning, I think he's better prepared to be the head coach than he was ever the offensive coordinator. I think he is uniquely qualified for this era to do this. We'll see if it works. They certainly have the schedule to win a bunch of football games in year one and get off to a running start.
Yeah, 8.5 is the win total. You okay with that?
Oh, I'm going over. I did a video on this. I think it was FanDuel lines of chances to win the Big 12 in football. K-State doesn't play the top 3. K-State's the number 4 team. K-State does play the bottom 3 all on the road, so you got 3 very winnable road games right there. They have a very welcoming schedule. 8.5, 9 wins would be honestly a little bit disappointing. Looking at this schedule, when your toughest teams you're playing are Arizona State, Houston, TCU, you better not be losing 4, let alone 3. I really think the bar is set high for him, but he can clear it too.
Tell me a little bit more on why you think he's more equipped to be a head coach than an OC.
He sees everything. He's got that Bill Snyder gift. He knows everything going on, and he's meticulously prepared. I think we've never quite seen his full offense, in some ways. He's played for defensive coaches that have, defensive coaches have thoughts on offense and how you play. and they want that reflected by their OC.
Yeah,
and
it's called "Don't Hurt My Defense."
Yeah, don't. We don't want to be in shootouts. That'll ruin our stats, and we don't want that. Possess the ball and win by 3. That's what a defensive coach loves, and I think we're going to see it open up a little bit. And I don't think his defensive coordinator, Jordan Peterson's going to care. I think that guy will, handle a high-scoring affair, a low-scoring affair, a brawl in an alley. He's ready for it, and I think Colin's done an incredible job of putting together a staff of guys that are all on the same page with him. And I'm interviewing them one by one, and there's a lot of guys that are sparse in their answers, very exact in their answer to your question, like Colin Klein. And I thought that was very interesting, so that must have jumped out at him during the interview process.
Yeah, that's interesting. Avery Johnson, is Colin Klein more likely to say, let's run him more?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you worry about Avery Johnson's ability to hold up?
Yeah, you should. Any quarterback that has to run will. Most quarterbacks aren't shaped like Colin Klein. I mean, Avery's a much lighter guy, a faster, and different type of player. The difference is he was asked to be running in an offense the last 2 years that had quarterback run game in it, but wasn't really designed for quarterback run game. I mean, there's a whole nuance to blocking it and setting it up and things that Bill Snyder created, and people call it the Wildcat offense now, but there's a whole scheme of blocking that you really have to understand and how to use a quarterback run game. Colin knows it, and he knows what he's got here. I think we've seen Avery struggle because he didn't know who he was. They didn't want him to run. I mean, you're telling the thoroughbred, just gallop, just don't open it up. And I think he wants to play and not think about playing. And you could see him thinking the last couple of years, and we'll see if Colin can draw that out of him.
Yeah, my fear is that Colin Klein was so tough that he assumes everybody's as tough as he is. And not that Avery Johnson isn't tough. I mean, I guess a better way is Colin Klein was really tough, but he also could hold up, right? I mean, he was pretty beat up. I remember having conversations with you, talk about, in that game he was pretty beat up and things like that. But, you tend to think everybody thinks their body works like you, and that isn't always the case.
Someone told me a story. One of the coaches, this was an off-the-record, not during a live podcast. It wasn't really off the record, but said Colin came in after a game. It might have been the A&M 4 overtime, or it might have been an Oklahoma State game. Those games were always physical and honestly a little bit dirty. We had some really shocking footage of things going on. But Colin comes in and and had to get help to just take any gear off. He had just played an entire football game looking like he was ready to go some more and could barely walk. And when they took off his pants, he had a face mask perfectly bruised into his thigh. They had gone, like the inside of his thigh where he didn't have a pad. And they said he was just covered in abrasions and bruises. He looked like he'd been thrown in a blender, and he played the whole game. But you're right. He's got to be careful with that. He was superhuman in many ways and could play through that. Avery's a smaller guy, and we've seen him get bounced off the turf in Boulder, Colorado a couple seasons ago and have to come out of the game for a while because he just can't take those kind of hits.
Does he have the talent to put around Johnson?
I think so. I think he upgraded both his receiver and running back rooms. A lot more depth, a lot more variety of weapons. You come back to the offensive line. They brought in a ton of guys, but more worrisome is the two guys that were probably going to be starting tackles were both out in the spring. So there's some real questions about continuity and who all is going to play what spots that still need to be sorted out in the fall.
Okay. We're talking to Tim Fitzgerald, publisher, GoPowerCat.com. Time for our Final Four, Tim. I'll start you with this. How long is Gene Taylor, the AD at K-State? How much
That's
longer?
a great question. I've been discussing this with people. I know that he wants to get Colin through the season, and maybe he wants to get Casey Alexander through his season. I'm not sure. But I think this will be the last full athletic year for him. Maybe he goes a year and a half and gets through another Colin season. I'm not sure, but I think Gene's ready to ride off into the sunset too. And another reason why I think it might be soon is he and Chris Kleiman are brothers, are tight. And Chris is back for one more year to kind of help out and be around Colin and kind of be available to him as a resource. But it's just, from what I'm hearing, 1 year. And I think at that point, Gene and Chris might just retire together and, I don't know, go live in Sarasota like everyone else.
Okay. Who's the next AD then?
Great question. I've been hammering on this. Athletic department's got to get away from the good old boys. You got to find the young entrepreneurial brains that can raise money, aren't fearful of trying different things, and are aggressive. There's a guy in the athletic department named Josh McCowan. I've known him since he was a student manager for Huggins and Martin, and he's in charge of fundraising. Everyone's pointing to him. I'd be overjoyed. I think he's incredibly sharp and has that great mix of being aggressive, as you know, in dealing with people and getting out there and not shying away from things, and also being very personable and likable.
Okay.
So I think that would be my guess. But you just look around college athletics. Maybe one of the guys that is a K-Stater, like an Eric Harper at UNLV. There's a guy in Missouri and a guy at Tech. I mean, there's a lot of K-Staters that are athletic directors right now.
Okay, we got about 30 seconds, so I'll go quick on these last two. Where does Avery Johnson go in the draft, if anywhere?
That's a great question. I don't know. I bet you he'll be a 6th or 7th round flyer if he has a good season. He just doesn't have the physical dimensions you want out of an NFL quarterback.
Okay. And finally, will you attend a World Cup match in person?
No. Why would I do that when I can attend one in bar person and drink the whole time?
It's so much cheaper when you go to a FIFA match, though. You should, it's really cheap drinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
The tickets are very reasonable.
Absolutely. Tim, we appreciate it, buddy. Great stuff as always. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, brother.
But first, the La Feta Delicatessen end of the hour answer. Who was the last pitcher to post a sub-2 ERA in 3 consecutive 20-plus start seasons?
In the interest of time, I rocked about like 5 different guesses, and I didn't get it. Where are we going with this one?
I think World War I era.
Christy Mathewson?
No.
No idea.
From 1915 to 1917, Grover Cleveland Alexander.
Cleveland Alexander, yeah. Know him as just a name in the books, but didn't know much about him. Okay.
Nickname is Pete. Nobody, by the way, has done it in the live ball era. And I actually got this question. You had retweeted this thing about Paul Skeens, about his decline.
Yeah, how it's like 196, 195, 198 or something like that.
196, 197, 198 this year.
Yeah.
It's ballooned.
I think the tweet was, Skeens' decline continues.
Yeah.
You know? That's fantastic. A couple things real quick we're going to throw at you here for the kicker. One, Pats at Seahawks is going to be the opener. We knew Seattle would be at home. A lot of times they go with a Super Bowl rematch. They'll do it here. That's Wednesday night, September 9th. I can't figure out. We'll see if there's another game on Friday, whether or not that's going to happen. And then one more I want to give you. The gentleman that I've talked about a lot, Tom Moore, who was the longtime offensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts. He's the guy, if you've heard me tell the story about when Ron Jaworski was doing Monday Night Football and he was watching practice and Peyton Manning was taking every rep, and he went over to Tom Moore and said, hey, Peyton, all the reps, how about giving the backup a couple of reps? And Tom Moore said, listen, if 18 goes down, we're effed, and we don't practice effed. Well, they don't practice effed at Iowa anymore either, because 87-year-old Tom Moore, who led it as a quarterback and kicker for the Hawkeyes in 1959 and 1960, is now going to be an offensive assistant. He'll turn 88 during the season.
That's awesome.
More power to you, Tom Moore. Go get